Stop it. All right, we're on YouTube.
What's up, YouTube?
So,
Got some awesome bedhead there.
yeah.
We both took naps earlier. So there's that. And I'm working on finishing up the bracket strip here while we're getting ready for all this.
Behind the scenes.
Should I read it to YouTube so they can hear it?
No.
Okay. Go read it at braxcomics.com.
It's not up yet.
By the time
somebody might be watching this
if
live.
you're watching this live, it's not. That's true. They jumped out real fast.
I don't think there is anybody.
Probably not
right
yet.
This second.
It would be hard. They would have had to click really fast. No Michael Jackson there. Do you like it?
It's amazing. So
buttons.
Check one, check.
Check two, check.
You're not anywhere near the microphone.
No. Well, let's see if that's good. All right. Checkity check now, y'all.
So check one, check. Check two, check. You're not anywhere near the microphone. Let's see if that's good. All right, let's do that again.
All right.
Check. Hello.
Check. Hello.
Check 1,
2.
Check. Hello.
Check. Hello.
Check 1, 2.
That's good.
Yeah.
Ready? Are we ready?
I'm ready. Are you ready?
All right. Let me just hit save. I'll finish it up after.
How do you get it all to fit?
Just manipulate it around. Takes a while. Sometimes, I think the font's about as small as it can be on that one already yet.
Well, on that one.
I'll have to edit down.
On the second panel.
Yeah, it's tricky. We'll see. I can stretch the box still. I haven't done that yet. I can put that to the max.
The font can't go smaller?
I mean, it's already pretty small. Like, look, here's, if you look at this, I mean, you can read that, but that's where it's at right now.
Huh.
I want to go a whole lot smaller than that.
Gotcha. I didn't realize you were like...
Well, yeah, I have it way zoomed in right now. It's readable at this point, but I wouldn't want to go too much more. So I'll just have to edit down the word. You can always make it like less verbose. I got to fix this too, because that's not going to work. But anyway, it's pretty close.
Pretty close.
It is tricky. Like, you don't think about it, but you have to say a lot with a very few number of words.
Yeah.
So you have to, like, it's something I never thought about before we started doing a comic. And then I realized, like, oh, you can't just write whatever you want to write. You have to make it fit into a physical constraint.
It also helps you be succinct.
It does. And I think it's improved a lot of the writing because you don't have that unlimited room. But you do have to think about it differently.
All right, are you done?
All right. One last save. Save. Well, work on that later. I also, just in case I finished that super fast and you were still working on stuff, I brought my DS with Zelda 2.
Did you bring a Nintendo Power?
I brought Mental Floss. It just happens to be in there. Oh, that's tough. I'm used to like just having it in my garage, and then you remind me, and I run out to my garage real quick.
Well, should I start reminding you bring a Nintendo Power?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's right there, just not immediate access to it.
I need caffeine.
I know, we're like zombies. We'll pick it up once we start. But the YouTube people are in for a treat. Gosh, look at that.
That's nothing compared to my hair.
It's because you can imagine here, you're a YouTube insider, This is where I wear my sleeping mask goes right there, so it like pops up this little fringe of hair. Got that little guy there.
And so how many hours did you sleep?
I don't know. Well, let's see. What time do we?
Where'd you guys go eat?
We ate at Rubio's down by Janelle's school, and then we came back and we watched a show. Like fell asleep to a TV show. So I don't know what time was that. She wound up not getting out till 2.
I only slept like 2 hours. You must have slept way more than I did.
Let's see. We got home about like 3:30. Let's say.
Yeah.
Probably watched like 2 shows. So probably like 4:30.
Yeah.
To
you slept more.
Yeah, like 9:50, like almost 5 hours.
Because I watched like a bunch of shows after you and Luke left.
But to be fair, we stayed up really late last night. And then I couldn't go to sleep after you guys left, so I played DS in bed for a long time.
That late?
You guys left after midnight.
Did we?
Yeah, and then I stayed in bed and played DS for a while.
Was it after midnight? I thought it was like 10 or 11.
No. I don't know. I only got like 3 hours of sleep
midnight.
last night. So I've had like 8 hours now between last night.
I left after midnight when we were watching a Tim and Eric videos the night before that.
Well, it was late. I don't know
like,
exactly. All I know is I didn't sleep a lot the last couple days. So
when we watched like 70s Christian rapture movies.
Oh gosh, the one where it ends with the beheading.
Yeah.
I don't know. How do we get? Oh, because of Christian Mingle.
It was all because it was because of old school.
Old school. No, it's not old school. Old fashioned.
Old fashioned. We were going through the movie listings. You're like, what the heck is old fashioned?
That's right.
And then Matthew was telling us, and then we watched that, and then we just started watching like all kinds of stuff.
Because that's the one where all the like trailer says like, "Love is black and white, never #gray."
Yeah. And then it's like his name, Mr.
Yeah, it's not Mr. So yeah.
So dumb.
Bad. It's so bad.
You guys are going to see that tomorrow, right? That's going to be your Valentine's Day movie. What if you took Janelle to that? Like, if you didn't tell her what it was?
Which one would be worse? Taking her to see the 50 Shades of Grey or Old Fashioned? Or what if we did a double feature? Because they're both playing at the same theater.
You both would lose on that one.
Yeah, neither one of those movies. It's so funny too. Like, not so much on mine, but Janelle was saying like on her YouTube or Facebook feed, like it's all these people like #no Mr. Gray or whatever. Stuff like that. And I'm like, that's if you really didn't want people to see it, why are you giving it all that extra attention? Like, they didn't even have to market this movie. All they had to do was make it look like it's gonna be offensive. And then like all the fundamental everybody out there is just is promoting it for free for them. It's kind of brilliant. What's that?
What? Hey, can we get a square Radio BrendoMan logo for the Benview site? You want to get on there?
Yeah. What does our logo look like now?
It looks like a not a square.
I think I've got like a thing I could do. I don't know if I can.
And here's my mom. Other than the naked butt on your Facebook page, how are your classes going?
Naked butt.
Because Chuck posted the Red Band trailer for the new Judd Apatow movie.
Oh. I love how that's your responsibility though for what people posted on your wall.
Also, it's funny. It's just a butt. I mean, come on.
That was like, I remember when people would write stuff like "have a bitch in summer" in my yearbook. I was so worried. I like crossed it out before I brought it home because I thought my parents were going to be mad that someone wrote that in my yearbook. And then my mom's like, "Why'd you cross all this out? I can't remember what your friend said."
Ooh, Handy Market. That looks good. Oh yeah, the general on sale for Comic-Con is next Saturday.
So like Saturday is when everyone's gonna be all mad that they
Saturday afternoon. Everybody's will be. Well, I don't know, man. I think our chances for a Comic-Con panel are really good if we get the one. Now that we got the WonderCon.
That's like spoiler alert for people that don't know.
Yeah.
It's a good YouTube bonus.
And
Yeah, that's really cool. I'm super excited for that. Josh is gonna moderate.
All in, man.
That's good. That brought our
and Patrick's already gonna be there.
That's cool.
So
having Josh moderate brought our panel up from like I think something we were doing that was really solid to like awesome.
Yeah. That's like our secret weapon.
I can't believe we never thought of like doing that before.
Well, for a while we were just like, hey, we're doing a panel.
I don't know. We kind of just learned as we went along.
Oh, we have to go over some things, I guess. If we want to record the panel, we have to get permission. So I got to fill out like a whole application thing
From them.
Yeah. So I don't know if that's something we want to record the panel. All right. I mean, like we have to get permission and then we have to do it. So
well, yeah, but that's I mean.
All right. Well, then I'll do that. And then I don't know if you want to have a handout or anything because we also all handouts have to be approved.
Okay.
So I don't know if you want to. Well, then you got to make it and I got to submit
flyer?
It. Yeah. If it's a flyer. So if you wanted to come up with a flyer and send it to me and then I'll send it to them because we got to get that approved.
Okay.
And absolutely no candy or stickers. So that's out of the question.
It's a bummer.
So
now what about like do we have to get our business cards approved to give to people or is that
I'll have to look at a flyer, but I think it's a possibility. But
I mean that's not a big deal to do.
Yeah. But if you're gonna do a flyer, you better come up with it soon and then send it to me and
I'll do that. And then you should send them like our business card too.
Yeah. And
just so that they don't like get weird about it.
And but then we have to do there's like an application for the recording.
Okay. You don't have to like pay them or anything, right?
No.
Okay.
Because if you're in like one of the like arena or whatever, they record those and then you can pay for the recording.
Oh, okay.
They record everything already for like posterity.
We're like in a room.
Yeah. Well, it's cool. So I think the reason why we got in this year is because they created more panel rooms.
Oh, nice.
Because we're at like the hotel right next door.
Mm-hmm.
Like there the food court is and everything.
Yeah.
They're using the ballroom and like some of the rooms in there for panels. And we're in the ballroom.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
How many people can fit? Their ballroom sounds big.
It said here. I'll tell you what room it. I don't know the size of it, but it sounds cool.
That's pretty sweet. Email? So now, and this way we get to add like another convention onto our
in the notch.
It's pretty awesome.
Okay. Yeah, it's in the elite ballroom, lobby level in the High Marriott. And we're at a good time too. We're like Saturday at 4.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. Do they have the rest of the schedule posted? Do we know?
No, they have no schedule posted.
Okay.
They just let people know like this was last week. They haven't published the schedule yet.
That's like a sweet spot.
So yeah, so let me just see what this looks like here. So here's a sample of things. All giveaway items must be approved. All items.
Okay.
So we can, if you'd like to give a limited item, let us know. Oh, okay. So it's not. This is just going to be like a physical description. So JPEGs.
Wait, go up one more. Let me see this. Promotional pamphlets must be approved. Okay.
So it doesn't say anything about business cards.
Okay. Well, just in case we could, I don't
think business cards because this just says promotional pamphlets or postcards.
Yeah.
So,
so I'll just do a little like Webcomics Advocates one with the site, the Facebook page.
Yeah.
Which is one and the same.
Yeah. But so
that's cool.
And then we have to send this in by March 17th.
Okay. I'll go. I mean, I have all this stuff, so.
Okay. But yeah, like no stickers, alcohol matches, scented items, liquid items, gum, food items, such as candy. Breath mints may be approved,
but will incur additional costs. What? Why? That's such a weird caveat there, like
only breath mints.
and what is the additional cost involved with giving out breath mints? And who's like, is that a big promotional thing or something?
I don't understand.
That's a really weird.
It's like weirdly specific.
Yeah, they must have had an issue with someone giving out breath mints. Are they like?
Yeah. So here's what it says. Okay.
You already turned on our description.
Description's already approved.
Cool.
But it says if our panels in the ballroom were actually 50 to 55 minutes because
yeah, that's right.
that whole
that makes
thing.
Sense.
They don't clear rooms. Keep to the time allotted. Do not sign autographs or take photographs of attendees. So we're gonna have to hold back.
We can go out in the hallway to do all our autographs.
After your panel, vacate the room in a timely manner. Throwing items into the audience is prohibited.
Right.
The sale of items is not permitted in a programming room.
We can handle all that.
Then WonderCon will provide each programming room with table, DVD player, video projector, and VGA laptop connection. If you require the use of a laptop, you have to provide the computer. So we don't need.
Yeah.
So on-site technical bringing a laptop.
The internet's not like.
Yeah.
It's like pay
you
for
have to
internet,
pay for
right?
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It can be purchased.
Yeah.
I
remember our original idea was we were gonna have people come up and bring up their website and show everyone.
Yeah.
That was cool in theory, but probably not practical or a great idea.
Yeah. Because if you use something not safe for work happens, like that's the end of us.
Yeah. Plus, like, it's gonna take someone 10 minutes to like fumble around to get to their site. And,
So okay. Recording panels. If you'd like to record your panel, you will need to contact the Comic-Con PR department, and they said where to email. Or the Mike, so I got to email Mike Stoltz for recording permissions. All panels in all rooms must go to the link provided and fill out the form. So we got to fill out a form.
Okay.
And then we get a separate email for badges. And
cool.
That's it.
We already have our like pro badges too, though, right?
Yeah, but then
do we get like additional panel ones?
Well, we get. I think it's gonna be like Comic-Con where each panelist can get a guest badge. So you get a panelist badge and a guest badge.
This would be a cool one for like Janelle and the kids to come in with.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be a problem getting
them in. I mean, yeah,
badges.
if we get an extra one, I'd like to do that. Just because it's not, it's close. Park at Disneyland. They could just come into the panel and then go out to Disneyland and stuff. So that'd be cool. It's a lot less of an ordeal than going into the Comic-Con in San Diego. All right. That's cool. It's going to be awesome. So if you're watching on YouTube...
Josh is here.
Oh, hey, what's up, Josh? We were discussing our WonderCon plans. I don't know how much you heard. It's very exciting.
I think he just got here. I'm trying to wake up here, man.
Once we start recording, you'll be on. You always snap it on. Okay, so you heard all our exciting behind-the-scenes talk. Did you hear about breath mints?
He's bringing a ton.
Oh, there is an extra
and he's going to throw him out in the crowd.
Into the crowd.
And a t-shirt cannon.
You can actually shoot the breath mints out of the t-shirt.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna get like a quick drink of water.
All right. Yeah, that's such a weird there's got to be a story behind the breath mints.
Somebody threw breath mint.
Somebody threw a breath mint at someone. What about those Listerine strips? You think those would count?
Mm-hmm.
The little dissolvable strips that you can get.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe we got to specifically ask for that because I don't want any additional fees incurred if we're giving out Listerine strips. Yeah, but breath mints. Why would breath mints cause a riot? People really like mints. Maybe it was a junior mint. I could see that causing a riot.
So what about junior mints? Because they're candy.
You're not allowed to do candy.
But are they?
No, but do you
truly
have
candy?
to do an extra fee? You could argue that it's not just a mint; it's a candy.
But then candies are outlawed.
Oh yeah, you can't do that. So you could argue that it's a mint and not a candy.
Yeah, but then what about then you have to
There's an
pay
extra
fees?
fee.
But what are the fees?
I don't know.
Mint
The
fee?
mint fee? I mean, do they have... What is your credit card statement going to say? Mint fee? Is there a tax on mint fees?
I don't know.
How does that work out? How do you put that in your, like, business budget?
All right. Let's get this show on the road here.
Let's do it. Wait, I'm going to spit my gum out.
Oh, my gosh.
That's what I'm going to chew on it. All right. Ready.
All right. You sure you're ready?
Wait. Gotta go poop.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Radio BrendoMan. I'm Brendan Creasy,
And I'm Phil Vecchio.
and we were just discussing cleanup fees regarding mints at WonderCon
WonderCon.
and
Well,
Comic-Con.
and that breaks the big news right there if you didn't see on our Facebook already.
Yeah.
Or on one of our Facebooks.
Well, Love Comics Advocate's Facebook,
Yeah.
and then I shared it on my Facebook, and you shared
I
it
shared
on
it on my
our
Facebook or somewhere. Anyway, we got a panel at WonderCon this year.
Yeah.
It's very exciting.
And
First panel there.
you're back from Disney World.
I'm back from Disney World.
From your, how long were you gone?
9 days.
Yeah.
9 days. It was
9
awesome.
days at Disney World.
It was like we went every one of those 9 days.
Yeah.
We went to a park.
Been watching some of your vacation videos.
Yeah, although you requested, it's not like I forced you to watch.
Yeah, oh yeah, I enjoy
It's
your
fun.
vacation videos. And also it was cool seeing when you told the kids after you had basically woke them up at 3 in the morning, drove out to
the
LAX,
airport.
and then are like, we're going to Disney World. And they were as excited as kids could be if they had been woken up
Right.
at 3 in the morning.
You could tell they were half asleep.
They were half asleep, but then the look
Luke's
is like,
and the Irish are going, ah!
but they both look like
They're like zombies.
they're like zombies. So I don't know if that would be on the Disney
I don't
World
know
commercial,
either,
but
it's pretty,
so
it's
really
pretty priceless
funny.
as far as memories go.
It's pretty amazing.
And it was excited, but she just was like,
Well, because Janelle had Audrey read it, but Audrey was obviously
Audrey's like, Walt
it's
Disney
it.
World
Walt
vacation.
Disney World. And they're like,
Like,
what does
what-
that mean?
We're going to Walt Disney World. Ah! Ah!
But they were very
They were
tired.
as excited as they could be. And then, of course, we went on a 5.5-hour plane flight, and they were awake the whole time. So they didn't let us sleep. But they're like angels on the plane.
So what airline did you fly on?
We went on Virgin America.
So was it cool?
Yeah, we had a little private TV with video games, and
Yeah.
they had this really cool
Did you try to play the Doom on Virgin America? Because
no.
I still contend that version of Doom is unplayable.
They have a little controller that pulls out.
Yeah.
I played a couple of the games. It's kind of got a slow response
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
And even for the more simple
They
games.
have some. They need to work on it a little bit.
It was fun to mess with it for a bit. Mostly what I did is
So
their
you
little
watch,
music thing.
Yeah, the music.
Because you can build a playlist
Yeah.
and you go through all the artists. I think I spent an hour just doing that.
Yeah.
But I listened to Cold War Kids on the way out. We had that on there.
Did you watch TV?
Watched a little bit. Mostly I read magazines and stuff.
That's my other favorite thing about the vacation was Janelle watched Total Divas.
Yeah.
And then so Janelle and I had a 10-minute conversation about
wrestling.
So I actually talked
Well,
to
okay,
Janelle about wrestling.
but the best part is that she turned on,
She watched almost the whole show without realizing that they were wrestlers.
Yeah, she was flipping channels and she found a reality show, and she loves reality shows. Oh, this is interesting, but they kept talking about screen time or something.
Yeah.
And she didn't understand what what their job was until at the very end, and she's like, "Oh, I just watched a wrestling show."
And then she's like, "It was pretty good." I'm see, there you go. Because I was reading some a Wall Street Journal report about how Total Divas has caused the women's viewership of WWE offerings. Their women viewership has gone up 100% or something.
Well,
crazy.
because she was like, "Oh, so and so is gonna get married, and this girl doesn't like that girl."
So that's so then after a few episodes, maybe she would be like, well, maybe I kind of want to watch
see them actually
watch
do their thing.
because sometimes they have Total Divas related vignettes on like Monday
Right.
Night Raw and SmackDown
Smart.
and stuff.
Because I never in a million years thought you would have a conversation with Janelle about wrestling that didn't end with her saying, "Shut up about wrestling. I don't want to talk about wrestling with you."
Well, there you go.
So
Although she did say it, just to her credit, it was the only reason why she watched it because it was like the only thing on.
yeah, she did. She's like,
But I'm still would not be surprised if one of these days she's on Hulu Plus.
yeah, flipping around.
She
And
doesn't have anything else to watch, and there it is.
I could see it. There you go, another wrestling. Maybe, and what I said is you and Benson should have
We could have the Divas Minute.
Divas Minute or something, and have Janelle come on your show and talk about divas. You guys would probably up your female listenership of your show 100% from that.
Yeah, maybe we need to do that.
Yeah.
Maybe they're onto something.
Yeah.
So any other well, like we'll talk about your vacation in a minute,
we'll
I
get
guess.
to that.
But before that, I mean, we've just because we recorded that episode with Josh.
Yeah.
And then we had the James Riley.
Yeah. Did we talk about that already?
Not really.
Maybe not. Oh yeah, because it was with Josh. That was cool. We got to meet him.
Yeah.
He was really nice, and at the book sign. I haven't started reading it yet.
I haven't either because I've been reading other books.
When I'm on vacation, I pretty much read magazines. It's about my attention span.
What's your like go-to vacation magazine?
Of course, Mad.
Yeah.
And I
Because
got
mine's like Entertainment Weekly.
Well,
It's
Entertainment
like the
was
only
the next
time
one,
I read
Entertainment Weekly. And then Mental Floss if I can find one. I like those too.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. Also played a lot of DS, as you can imagine.
Yeah.
Got a lot of tags. Like so
Was it
many.
like constant tags?
It's not as much as
not
like
like-
Disneyland, even,
Yeah.
I would say, but partly because everyone's so spread out there.
Yeah.
I feel like if someone at Disneyland has it, you get tagged just by their proximity in the park, whereas, everyone's spread out. I didn't get any tags at the water park.
Yeah, you're the only one that would bring an expensive
actually bring
electronic
it.
device.
I didn't really bring it to that one, but we did have like a baggie so I could take it on Splash Mountain without risking it getting wet again. So that was really cool. James Riley was super nice, and it's funny because we kind of surprised him. Like he didn't know we were coming, and he's like, "Oh, I wish you guys had told me you're coming out."
Yeah.
'Cause he obviously had like other stuff going on, but I imagine he might have like hung out a little bit.
Yeah.
At least, or had like a few minutes more to talk, because we kind of had to do the thing where we waited in line and there was like people behind us and we were the only adults that were there without kids like buying. I mean, my kids are there, but they weren't like with us. So I think he was relieved when we got up there and he realized who we were. Like, who are these creepers coming down the row that are coming to meet me? So, but he was cool. He was really nice. And his girlfriend, wife, I don't know,
Girlfriend. I
girlfriend.
think.
She knew who we were, like, as far as these are the guys that do the podcast. That's cool. So that's fun. And he said he would come on our show again.
Yeah.
So once we get around to reading that with the book club, we'll have him back on. So that's cool.
Yeah. And then that's pretty much what's been going on. I mean, during your vacation, I did most of my normal stuff.
Yeah. What'd you do?
Well, we'll talk more about it.
Okay, we'll get to
Yeah,
the
but-
Okay.
I don't really have anything exciting to lead off the show besides the WonderCon panel.
Well, WonderCon is pretty exciting because
and
we've done panels at Long Beach Comic Con. We did the Dallas one, Dallas Web Comics Expo, and we did the one at Comic Con. But we've never done WonderCon before.
yeah,
It's a big one. It's also like directly connected to Comic Con, so
which I think hopefully is an indicator of where we stand in the Comic-Con panel
we definitely didn't
race.
like burn them or anything, so they don't want anything to do with us. So that's good. And Josh Anderson is going to be of Extra Damage is going to be there moderating again, so that's really cool.
Yeah.
It definitely ups the quality of our presentation, I would say.
And Patrick's back.
Patrick is going to be there of Super Siblings.
Patrick actually has had some pretty cool stuff been happening to him.
Oh yeah.
Nathan Fillion tweeted
Oh
one of
really?
his because he's been doing a lot of like character posters and stuff.
Uh-huh.
So Nathan Fillion actually tweeted one of his things.
Nice. That's
And,
pretty
it's
big.
pretty awesome.
That's cool.
So he's been
So he'll be doing that. So that ups our street cred a little bit as far as the actual comics go.
yeah.
So that's cool.
All All right, well, we have one reader mail.
All right, let's do it.
We got from Matt Zappa. Matt Zappa writes, because we had been asking, like, oh, what happened during your whole, because remember,
Yeah,
it was
he was
during
like
the whole
stuck right after we saw him in LA there.
So he said, just heard the recent podcast. Sorry for the delay, but I've been a haze of post-NAMM sickness that is going around. So it's also like, even the rocker cons get con crud. Getting back into working in the crazy blizzards that we've been getting every other day in Boston. Yeah, it's been like, it's still going on.
Nutsos.
Also,
like 78-degree weather here.
Yeah.
They got that.
Also, lack of sleep, too much drinking, a lot of handshaking, and a change of climate will make anyone sick. It's true.
I can see that. Not to mention jet lag.
Yeah. Monday after my plane was canceled, I passed out hard at a cousin of Steph's from Portian Collective Place. Then he flew out Wednesday, so he was just like...
Oh, wow. In between storms.
Yeah, sadly with my schedule and lack of renting a car, which I should have done because everyone in Cali is mad far apart. Yeah, that's everything in Cali. Yeah, that's what I always tell people, like, especially if you're from the East Coast, like you can't just walk to things.
Yeah.
Like
there's not
and there's no public, like, the transportation, maybe in, like, if you're somewhere in the immediate, like, LA area where there's, like, the metro.
Yeah, but still.
Like, even then, it's like, it's a very limited area.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, if you have a specific place along the line you want
especially for him, because, like, NAMM is in Anaheim. And people always think, it's funny, people like, okay, I'm going to LA. Oh, I can just, like, drive down. It's like
they have the Los Angeles Angels.
And it's only, and like on a map, it's only 30 miles to Disneyland or 35 miles. Yeah, that's and I have to tell people, yeah, that's a 2-hour drive.
Right.
Depending on
traffic, yeah.
Yeah. Like, you can't, it's not like just a hop, skip, and a jump.
It's hard to even comprehend it until you actually get there.
Yeah.
Now. So I get that.
So everything, and I didn't get a chance to record shop, but I did hit Venice Beach and Beverly Hills. That's a contrast right there.
Yeah, that sure is. That's cool.
So,
okay, he's got more.
So he has a lot of stuff. Now to the podcast. You all were super cool with the kind words. Like I said, I'm glad Phil and Matt made it out. Anytime I'm in town, y'all are on the list. It's the least I could do for both of you all for the hours of entertainment that has got me through my boring music life of emailing promoters and traffic on tour. And you all drove out far to come out, which made me feel more of a big deal than I should.
I was worth it. We had a lot of fun.
Yeah. I still feel bad because today I had a flashback. I don't know. I have a weird relationship with my bedroom now because it's like the scene of the crime. Because I was like lying in my bed and I had like this flashback to when I threw up and I'm like,
oh. This is where it all happened.
Just like
I
just wish I'd gotten up and made it to the bathroom.
Yeah, you can't go back though.
Because now when I'm in that bed, all I think about is just leaning, is like throwing up.
You're living in your vomit past.
It is. It's weird.
Yep. It'll come back to haunt you.
I don't want it to. Okay, so then he says, Brendan, please chill about missing the show.
There you go.
You just being you has helped me more than you know. Oh. My one regret about you being too sick to show up was not being able to say thank you in person and give you a big hug. Because in that Bagged and Boarded episode you came out in helped me to be more honest and accept love in my life. So there you go.
All right.
Happy to be... See there, that's nice. I appreciate it. And then he attached a photo of him and his boyfriend, and Dan, my prog rock cubby. So he's in prog rock.
I think I said that right. Progressive rock.
Yes.
I think I got it right.
Who you all would get along with well. He also got me stuck on community parks and back to board games. See there, back into board. Oh, dude, speaking of board games, this is like a side.
Okay.
But did you see that Cryptozoic is doing a Kickstarter for a new Ghostbusters board game?
No.
Oh,
that's cool.
I gotta show it to you because you gotta see this.
Okay.
Because it's awesome. It's gonna be $80, so I gotta.
They're doing the Kickstarter.
Yeah, like they already have it. Like it's already like already like approved. They just did it as like a pre-order system because it's such an expensive.
Right.
See, like they had 250,000 gold. They already are at 476
Nice.
at 25 days ago. But yeah, like look at this. It's like look at the pieces.
Oh, that's really cool.
And like the Stay Puft and like all these guys, and this is the first board game released since that Real Ghostbusters board game that actually was just a retool of that Haunted Mansion board game.
Which is a cool game.
Yeah, it is awesome because I forever I think I still have some of the pieces.
Right.
Like I had because there's like an axe
right,
that fell.
right.
I still have the axe somewhere.
But we were trying to figure out. I think we were talking about this. Where were we? We saw it because I think that they must have done 50 different versions of that same game.
Oh yeah.
Because I had the same game, but mine was called Which Witch is Which.
Yeah, there was multiple. The original I think was called Haunted House. Then they had Which Witch is Which, and then they used that same exact game for the Real Ghostbusters
But it's all
game.
the same exact
Yeah,
game.
didn't we see one that was like a Disneyland?
Yeah, that's
like
what
there was
I'm
a
trying to
Disney
remember where
one.
we saw that. But.
So there's like I think, but it's the same game. There's like, and there's a skull that rolls down, like, and so yeah, it comes with like, it looks cool. It looks like it looks like an RPG, but also just like a board game.
That's
it looks
cool.
really cool, and like you get all these stretch goals and like upgrades, and so
well, there's still lots of time to do it if people want to get on.
Yeah, it's $80 is the lowest.
Well, the lowest where you
thing.
get the whole game.
Yeah, so they're only doing it just for the game, so it's just.
Oh, that's the lowest.
That's it. Because they're not messing. This is like a straight up
just
like
pre-order.
Yeah. Like. So.
Which is one of the values of Kickstarter.
Yeah.
That I think people misunderstand still.
Yeah.
The Kickstarter is not just people begging for money.
Yeah.
Because nobody gets money on Kickstarter from people who didn't already want what they have.
Yeah. Or it's very, very rare.
Very rare, right? It's a way to gauge what your interest is in your product or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's silly that people get upset about it. Anyway.
Okay, and then he also says, you both need to stop the Parenthood episodes because he always cries every time it's on, especially this last season. Oh, dude, oh my gosh, we'll talk about that in a bit because the Parenthood finale happened. Oh my gosh.
I heard.
It was a mess.
It was emotional.
Well, because it was funny. I guess I already told this joke, but like I watched the second to last episode. I watched right after I watched the Royal Rumble, so I was just like very sad. But then this one, oh my gosh, I don't think I was ready.
Okay.
But now the show's over, so it was a very pleasing finale. Like, but it's and some people were like, oh, they hit every possible finale trope. I'm like, well, everybody would be mad if they didn't
get all that in.
So they hit it, yeah. So like it was great.
They did what the people wanted.
All right, Slenny writes, now to Phil. Thanks for letting everyone know that I'm a diva that practiced my signature for my sticks. Just playing.
I can't help it. You told me a story. I have a show. I talk about stuff. No, but we were laughing because like my handwriting is so horrible.
Yeah, because the Phil Vecchio
if I had a signature, they'd be like, "What is this? That doesn't look like your name. That's awful." Practicing for an hour or two would not help my signature in any way. Because when I do write really neat, it looks like I'm like a 5th grader learning how to do cursive. You know,
Naruto.
Like, yeah, it's exactly. That's when I write nice. That's what it looks like.
And next time we're around on tour, I'll offer a trade of putting the band up for the night at the Orchard, and Steph and I will give your kids a guitar and drum lesson.
Yeah, that's a pretty good
There
deal.
you go.
All right.
By the way, half drum parts of Protean's last album, The Red and the Gray, were written by me drumming on my belly and then figuring out on the kit to show the guys. So there you go.
I'm sure he saw it. I think he might have liked it.
Yeah.
But my brother posted
the video. Is on radio. It's on the Facebook.
It's on, yeah.
So.
Just in case he missed it.
And he says, thanks for the festival booking advice. So it sounds like you guys were talking some
show talk.
Shop.
Yep.
Then he says, the arms race is on of Mike contributing to the All-Stars or you finishing the swing set of Doom. Game on.
I would not bet on me beating you in that instance. But I would. I mean, if you get that,
how are all your projects coming along?
Slow to.
The Nook is in the garage, and there it shall stay.
It's there. Luke and Audrey have been.
Well, at some point, isn't Janelle just going to start hounding you?
At some point, but we haven't.
You don't even have groceries.
Yeah, we haven't gone grocery shopping since we got back.
It's been great. We've tried out all the new restaurants in
know.
Ukaipa.
Every day we're like, Jenna's like, I don't want to cook. I don't want to go shopping. Let's just go out to eat.
You know what I could really go for right now?
What's that?
That Italian shave ice.
Oh, there's this new place in town.
New place. It's got these awesome hot dogs.
Like gourmet toppings.
Grilled hot dogs with awesome toppings. And then they have real Hawaiian shave ice with the syrups they get are from Hawaii. And like the fruit ones, it's like puree. It's not just like sugar water.
Plus,
and you can get ice cream and sweet cream. And you had never done ice cream on shave ice before, and that's been my thing forever.
It was super good.
Because I remember distinctly when there was a specific incident where because I was really lazy as I am now. I was like 100 times lazier in college, and so whenever you wanted me to like go with you to do stuff, it wasn't something I was like really into. You'd have to like bribe me to do things. So your way of bribing me was like, Brendo, I'll go to Taco Bell. Brendo, we'll go by like this one in particular
was Scotty's
because it was a flower shop, but they also had Italian shave ice, and it was awesome.
Random, but it was really good.
But it was because you had to go. It was the infamous See's Candy incident where you had like a voucher. But it was only good at like a very specific.
So I had to
drive all the way out to this mall
to get the candy. And it expired like that day, so you had to get there.
And it was a gift for your girlfriend at the time. So you didn't want to go by yourself, and you were already. It was really funny because you were already like debating on whether or not to end this relationship. And you were kind of in denial, and this was at the stage of the relationship where everybody was like, just break up. You're like, oh, I don't know, like you were at that point.
Yeah.
But you were like, Brendo, we'll go to Taco Bell. I'm like, I don't want Taco Bell. You're like, go to I don't know what else. It was like 3 different things.
I had my list of things.
And then you're like, okay, Scotty's, and I was like, ooh, Scotty's.
Shave ice.
And then
you had to find what you were currently craving.
And that was the first time I got it with ice cream, and you're like, that's disgusting. And I'm like, this is the best thing ever. And
I'm a fan now.
And then just for anybody curious, the end of that See's Candy story was she didn't even eat the candy and she gave it to other people.
Didn't save me any.
And didn't save you any.
I think when you give a box of candy, the expectation is that some of it is saved for you.
I think that might be in your own mind.
No, I think that's the expectation.
I don't know about
Not all
that.
of it, but you share it back. Oh, here. At least they give you the ones they don't like.
But just the fact that she didn't, it was very not appreciated, especially due to the effort.
I think at that point we were pretty much done, and that was just a good indication. But regardless, we did get shave ice. So it wasn't.
I got ice cream in mine, and you thought it was weird.
I did, but now that I've tried it, I'm hooked.
Man, that was like. Because that was around Valentine's Day. That was 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That's how long ago. That's how long it's been since you've been getting ice cream with your shave ice.
15. I remember the fact that I could remember like that many details. Like that was 15 years ago.
Where I bribed you to go.
And we were listening to Joe Christmas on repeat in your Celica.
On my cassette.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, those were the days. All
right. Sunny says, anyway, enough of my ranting. You all are funny as hell. Keep it up, and all the best to you both.
Thanks.
And then here's a good question.
Okay.
This might be another 30-minute answer here. So, P.S. If you guys could pick 4 artists or bands, living or dead, for a show, who would you choose and what venue?
Oh, this is good. Mine are all going to be ones that no one's heard of.
That's fine.
But I'm going to go, I do Starflyer and Joy Electric.
Yeah.
But see, they're like, no. I'd pick the Brothers Martin.
That's what I would, because that was,
then
you
I get
picked one of mine.
The Brothers Martin, because I get both the Brothers Martin. So that's one. And then I do, oh gosh, that's hard.
Like, they're talking ever.
Ever. Live show. See, I would want to say, I don't know. I can't pick. Because Javelina, like, I would love to see Javelina again someday. Like, that classic Javelina lineup. But then there's also, like, the Spivvies. Even though I know I was in the band, I would love to see that again. And then, of course, like, there's my old school classics, like Prayer Chain, Plank Eye, and Poor Old Lou. So that's like, I don't know, 6.
And what venue?
Fine China. Venue, I would say the Hub in Fullerton.
Ooh, yeah.
Even though it was small, like that place, and then that's like an intimate venue, and you get to like talk to them afterwards, and that place was so good. I missed that so bad. Plus, it was free.
Yeah.
So a free show.
That'd be my venue. But my bands would be mine. I was already gonna say Brothers Martin.
Yeah, it's kind of cheating, but
it counts. And so if somehow Brothers Martin, and I'm also gonna pretend that they like their third member is John Sonnenberg, because like he's doing stuff with Ronnie right now. So I feel like if Brothers Martin were to reunite, I feel like that's a plausible thing.
Plus, you've got the Fine China connection.
So that would what's
that whole
some
crowd.
Imaginary supergroup?
Yeah. Well, and then Jeff Cloud used to play with Joy Electric.
So that all counts.
Express in there
that all counts.
So that whole group there.
Yeah. And Jason Martin's wife's there too. So
Bon Voyage, yeah.
Right? So that little group right there. That's like a
and
super
actually
group.
Before they were married, she sang with Javelina. So that group's them in there.
So that is her. Is that her on Diamond and the Fish or on the first album?
On the first album, I think.
Okay. Who is that on Diamond and the Fish? Is that Lori?
I think it's Lori
okay.
on the second one.
I didn't know when Lori like.
I think Lori was in it originally too,
Oh.
but they had 2 girls, and then Julie left. Anyway, so that way those are all in one big group there.
Yeah.
So that counts.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then there you go.
That's
so mine would be like Brothers Martin, and then it would be the Beatles. That's
what Josh says in the chat here, the Beatles.
And I didn't even see that. See, there we go. We're on the same page. And then it would be I want to represent like all the decades. So I would have to go with like the Beatles, and then some for like an earlier one, I would do like Buddy Holly.
That would be cool.
And then my number 4 would be man, it's tough. It'd probably be U2, just because I would love to see them at the Hub.
At the Hub, that would
be
so
amazing.
Cool. Yeah.
Like Larry Mullen Jr. would have like a trap set, and like Edge would be playing like some acoustic guitar or like something.
So it'd be like unplugged.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Be awesome.
They wouldn't have any room for the big screens or anything.
No.
Like that,
but it'd be
not
like
the Pop Mart tour there.
No. What if it was the mini Pop Mart tour?
Mini Pop Mart.
The mini Mart tour.
That's totally dumb.
It would be funny, but I don't know. That'd be cool, but I was also like thinking like Living or Dead. I was thinking about like I've been listening. So then like my runner up would be like Nick Drake, because I've been listening to like a ton of Nick Drake lately, because he was in the finale of Parenthood, and so it made me like go back and listen to that. Because when you say Living or Dead, and then maybe like and then also, but then you have like Hendrix.
Yeah,
like,
well,
I would love I like that, like, because like I've watched. Have you ever watched videos of Jimi Hendrix playing guitar?
Yeah,
it's insane.
Yeah, he's in a different realm. If I had to go outside of my like little local scene, because obviously that's who I picked, the people that I was like around and stuff. If I had to go outside of that, I would pick the Pixies.
Yeah.
I would say the Clash.
Yeah.
And
Weird Al.
I guess, but I guess it says Living or Dead. I was just thinking like old.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I mean, I would love to see Weird Al, but I still could. So I was thinking of something I couldn't.
Johnny Cash.
Johnny Cash would be cool. We're definitely past 4 artists at this point, but
I saw Johnny Cash.
You did? That's cool.
Yeah.
I would like to see They Might Be Giants just do Apollo 38. Is it 38? 18.
Yeah.
What's the number? Is it 18?
Apollo 18.
Apollo 18. I'd like to see them do
I saw them do Flood. That was awesome. They're playing in LA very soon.
Did they ever do that in live?
I saw them do all of Fingertips live once. Like at the second show we went to, they did the whole thing. Sometimes I've seen where they start doing it and then they won't make it the way through. but because sometimes they forget all.
Well, there's
but,
a lot of them.
But like one time, the second time I saw him at the Blue Note, first of all, it was on a tour where they did a unique song for each venue they played at on the tour.
Cool.
Like they wrote a new song, so they wrote this song about the Blue Note. And it was actually really good.
Cool.
And then they were just in like a really good mood because they had just won the Grammy for the Malcolm in the Middle song. And so they were just like in a really good mood for that. And they played, and they did. They're like, we're gonna do something we don't normally do, and they played all the fingertips, like the whole thing.
Who's knocking on the
And then I
wall?
also saw them on the Severe Tire Damage tour because they had there was like a new type of thing. They did songs for each of the Planet of the Apes movies.
Nice.
And it's on the Severe Tire Damage album. So they have like ones like their Escape from the Planet of the Apes song. It says, Escape from the Planet of the Apes. Like just like things like that.
That's cool.
Like I saw them do all those. That was cool.
Ooh, also, I would like to see Rick Springfield around Working Class Dog era.
You and your Rick Springfield.
I like
We
Rick
just had this
Springfield.
discussion.
I don't know. I like Rick Springfield.
Oh, you haven't seen Californication. There's a season of Californication where he's like
He's on the
like
show.
he's playing himself.
On the show.
Yeah.
That's cool. I think he's really good. He's kind of like the boss. His like cousin.
Like not even cousin. Like he's like a low rent Springsteen.
He is. It's kind of like, I don't know. I put in my record collection because my records, as opposed to my CDs.
You love Jesse's
I
Girl.
love Jesse's Girl, but I like all of his stuff. Though.
I don't even know his other songs.
But in my record collection, it's not alphabetized. It's more like by theme, and I have him next to my Bruce Springsteen. Because I don't know, for whatever
Well, at
reason,
least you own.
them.
I just appreciate that you own Rick Springfield and Bruce Springsteen vinyl.
Why not?
You appreciate the classics.
That's right. And they're bunched.
I have a very vivid memory of the first sleepover I went to when I was like 6, and we had set up like a tent in the backyard, and with the intention of sleeping there, but then we chickened out about it. But we brought out. He had like one of those portable record players,
Right.
like that you had like a lot of schools had, like you had in class.
Yeah.
They had like the speaker built in, and we brought out the record player and we were listening to like Born in the USA,
Nice.
like just like nonstop, and we thought we were really cool.
Okay, so my similar thing was like not my first sleepover, but it was in 6th grade, and we did like a friend of mine invited me to his birthday party, and there was like 5 or 6 of us that were invited. We all slept over, and this will date it a little bit, but for his birthday, I got him a copy of MC Hammer, the one that has
Please
Can't
Hammer,
Touch
Don't
This,
Hurt 'Em.
That's the one,
Yeah.
and Vanilla Ice.
Oh, those are like the two
Like
huge
I was like the
albums.
hit of the party. First of
Yeah.
all, I was like amazing, and he had a boom box, and so I remember for the first like 3 or 4 hours, we just walked around the neighborhood, and he carried the boom box, and we listened to those 2 cassettes, mostly Vanilla Ice, over and over again. So we're like, stop this train, I want to get. And that was our like, we did that for hours. At the time, I was like the coolest because I gave him those. So.
You get to see these kids walking around Big
You
Bear.
got to pray just
with
to
a
make
boom
it today. Yeah, it was cool. It was cool. That dates it a little bit. I also remember at that era, on the bus in the morning, we would all have contests to see who knew more New Kids on the Block lyrics. Like we would try to do all the songs, but like it was kind of secret because the guys didn't want to admit that we all knew the New Kids on the Block.
Oh, but come on, it's
but we
like
all knew
everybody. They were so. They were huge.
Yeah, I mean, you knew them. They were everywhere. They
Yeah.
showed their concerts on Disney Channel.
Yeah.
That's how I knew.
Well,
them.
and then like, yeah, I wanted to go to New Kids on the Block like so bad, but like my dad took me to see. I didn't go to like a proper concert for like a while, but like because we saw the Beach Boys at like, but they were like after a Padres game,
right?
And it wasn't. This was like Kokomo, it's still cruising there. Beach Boys, like Brian Wilson, no
like
Brian
just
Wilson.
Mike Love at that
it was
point, right?
It was Mike Love and the other Wilson,
Right.
And yeah, so my dad did take me to Videopolis,
Oh,
and
I
we
wanted
saw
to see something there
the
so bad.
Party and Vanilla Ice.
Oh, dude. Okay, that's like the picture of that early 90s.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Videopolis.
Oh
The
yeah.
Party,
It doesn't
Vanilla
get any
Ice.
more like.
That's it. What was that, like 92?
It's like
Something that?
91.
Yeah,
I think I was in 6th grade.
Yeah.
Because 7th grade is when I remember is my infamous story of them like handing out cards and you had to
remember
write your
this.
favorite bands, and I wrote down The Party and I think like CNC Music Factory,
Right.
and then everybody was like Pearl Jam, Guns N' Roses, Metallica, and so I crossed it
Yep.
out. I sold out.
I remember that story.
Distinct.
It's funny because that must have been the thing, because I remember in 6th grade like a similar kind of
Yeah.
thing, like them
Oh, yeah,
handing
it
out
changed
things.
over.
And mine, I remember because you did the same thing. You wrote your favorite
And it
band.
was like when you introduced yourself.
And I think I put the Beach Boys.
Yeah.
And I had to like staunchly defend it because people were like, that's dorky. And I'm like, no, they're awesome. And I remember there's like these guys that their Beatles were better, and we had like a Beatles Beach Boys rivalry for a little bit. It was like mostly friendly, but like when we were bored in class, we'd write like Beach Boys rules, and I'd like hold it up, and then they'd put Beatles rule, and then like and it was so dumb. Like we were such dorks. But you know, at least I had like kind of some social interaction.
But I just remember that because that was like when all that happened. It like because I think it was such a change in music because
Yeah.
there was a change in music in general, but then that's the period also of your life when you kind of go from like listening to all that pop stuff to starting to diverge from
Right.
that is I think that time in your life. But also at the time culturally there was a huge change
Right.
in music as well.
Right.
Like the whole grunge thing was happening
Right.
and all that happened. So while I was also like it was expected but then like that just happened to be there. So it was such a drastic overnight change where it was like 1 minute I am listening to seriously like CNC Music Factory and Paula Abdul and all this stuff, and then the next it's like that's all done, and it was like, and then that was like listening to Nirvana, Pearl Jam, Guns N' Roses, like all that stuff.
Right.
Like it was just this overnight. Like you cannot listen to this anymore. You will get beat up or laughed at.
Yeah. I don't know. It was a tough time.
And
for
even
me.
like I remember even like the metal, like because there was like dudes that were still into like Poison and all that stuff, and they were getting made fun of too.
Yeah.
Because like there was that change, that shift.
It was a weird time. If you
But then also but then that time was also so weird because at the same time like Achy Breaky Heart was happening.
Yeah.
And like we were very
Yeah.
it was very confusing.
Well, and I mean, I know MC Hammer and Vanilla Ice and stuff were a little before that, but they were still happening into that.
Yeah, it was
So
like this weird
Criss Cross.
Oh yeah, Criss Cross was huge.
So you had like that weird like almost like novelty rap stuff.
Yeah. Well, I think that was where white America was discovering rap
Yeah.
music, and so Vanilla Ice and Criss Cross and MC Hammer were like that was like the shallow end.
Right.
And then by the mid '90s, white kids were listening to Biggie and Tupac and all that stuff.
Right.
But I don't think those guys would have been successful with white
They just
suburban
jumped into
kids
that first.
if MC Hammer and Vanilla Ice and Criss Cross.
Yeah.
Without that, I don't think that whole
So you're saying
thing
that
would have
Tupac
happened.
owed his career to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2: Secret of the Ooze.
Sort of, because
Essentially.
yes, they had a huge market with like the actual urban market, but when those guys really got rich was again when white suburban kids
Right.
started listening. Like as soon as kids in my school were listening to Dre, like that's when Dr. Dre became a billionaire.
He was just what, like a millionaire before.
He was, yeah, like because you know, like again, like like that was the tipping point for like rap was once all the like white Midwest kids,
Yeah.
like in rich Southern,
Well,
like
heck, my parents knew like they could probably at the time have at least done some of the Vanilla Ice song. You know what I mean? Like that stuff permeated pop culture.
and then like Do the Bartman, like
Yeah,
that kind of that
yeah.
stuff that was happening.
also some really embarrassing like Christian music rap things it happened at the time.
Oh well, yeah.
Because that was at that period of time was when DC Talk
That was
guys
when
would
DC
like,
Talk-
rap on anyone's album for like
Yeah.
$1, and so
That was when Carmen was rapping.
Carmen rapped, Brian Duncan rapped, And
Well, everybody
Stephen
had a
Curtis
hand in rap.
Chapman rap.
Everybody was trying to rap it. I was just reading an article about I didn't even know it existed, but like Mikey Ramone from the Ramones was obsessed with hip hop, and he refused to believe that he couldn't rap, so he actually made a rap single, and many music critics to this day consider it like the worst thing ever recorded. And I read about it in a Cracked article, and I listened to it, and I was like, this really is, it might be the worst thing. But even he like joked about it. He's like, yeah, it was terrible, but I really liked rap music, and you can't stop if I like, like,
Okay.
I respect that.
Here's the ultimate bad, cheesy Christian one. Did you ever listen to the Raptures?
No.
Already the name is pretty
But that's
bad,
horrible.
right? So they had a song, because remember at the time, Will Smith was also a thing.
Oh, yeah.
Because you got the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air was all happening. And
stuff. He was still the Fresh Prince.
Right, so...
I don't think Big Willie style wasn't until like 96.
Yeah, a little bit later.
That was Men in Black.
So he did the Freddy Krueger song, right? You know what I'm talking about? I can't even remember how it goes.
It was a nightmare on my street. Yeah.
And I remember like being over at friends' houses and hearing that and like kind of feeling bad, like, I'm not supposed to listen to a Freddy Krueger song or whatever. So this Christian rap group called the Raptures came out with a song, and I think it was just called Freddy, and it was like, okay, I'm just gonna do a little bit of it. It's all, I don't believe in Freddy, I'm God's own kid.
Oh my gosh.
It was like this whole like anti-Freddy Krueger rap, like as an answer to Will Smith's Freddy Krueger rap, and it was pretty bad. So if you want to look that up, you can have some good cringe-inducing fun there. Anyway.
And as we've discovered on this show, several TV personalities thought that they could rap. I mean, we had Brian Austin Green, we had David Faustino, Ken Griffey Jr., Edward Furlong had like a Japanese album, like just all that stuff.
Yeah, it was a time when anyone thought they could do.
But that's how it is now. I guess that's always like, even now it's still like you just have all these pop star like every Paris Hilton has an album and all these other people.
It just feels like it was a different era where there was a lot more novelty type things that came out.
Yeah.
Maybe not. Maybe it's just, but it feels like it was a different time.
Yeah. Well, see, as I predicted, that was like a 30-minute sidebar there. And
so thanks for writing in, Matt.
Yeah. All right. I'll let you do this.
Yeah. Well, one of the things I like to do, listen to podcasts on a device.
That was really bad.
What? I like to do that. And if I do listen to them on a device, I like to do Stitcher.
Okay.
Because that's a good app to use for that.
I mean, it was good. I just was trying to go for a better, the transition is the key, and
that's true.
There was no transition.
But then we talk about the transition, and that's our transition.
Okay.
So see,
that's what we're doing here now.
Part of it.
Well, Stitcher, go to radiobrendo.com, click the Stitcher link. If you haven't signed up for an account, which is free, use the code BrendoMan. Got lots of good podcasts, including probably my new favorite podcast now that Go Bayside is over, The Blaze. It's a 90210 podcast. They're now at the point where they are having, they have like writers.
Okay.
They've got writers.
So they're like one step away from having the cast on.
So I don't know what my chances are of getting on that show.
You weren't actually.
Although there's so many episodes, I feel like there's gonna have to be times.
At some point you can.
At some point, I think I might be able to squeeze in. Because my dream is to be on one of the shows where they talk about other shows, and I'm such an I feel like I would blow everybody's minds.
I know
with how deep I could go with like 90210. Although my suggestion, and you would appreciate this, I suggested to them that they should find the guys that did those wrap-up videos on the seasons 1 and 2, because I think they're like comedians.
Those were really fun. Yeah.
And then on the 3rd season, I guess so many people, I think like the network or somebody
got mad.
Somebody got mad because then the 2nd season they were toned down.
Right.
Then the 3rd season they're gone. And there was 2 different people, and it wasn't funny at all.
Because the one on the 3rd season, they were all like nice, because they were like pretty brutal.
Yeah, they were basically like making fun of the show,
pointing out like ridiculous things.
Like they had like little like ongoing bits. It was hilarious.
It was awesome. I didn't even watch all of it, but I watched those.
Yeah,
I didn't watch the whole season with Janelle, but I watched
the recap videos.
The recap jokes
were so funny, and so I'm like, you guys should get those guys.
They should do like the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
They should just do a podcast.
They probably are. We should look them up.
Well, but I told the Blaze that they should find those guys,
Yeah.
whoever they are,
Wherever they're at.
because they were really funny and they know their stuff.
Yeah.
But I could talk about R2.0 probably forever. So I'm totally. I want to be on the show real bad.
So if you're
I
out
still
there-
have dreams that there's an alternate universe where I got to be on Go Bayside, and April Richardson and I became best friends.
It could. I guess she's done. Never gonna happen. Sorry.
I know. I still want to be friends with her, but that's
You know what can happen still though?
what.
You could host your own website.
I can't host my own website.
If you were to do that, where would you host it?
Sorry.
I caught you there.
You can host it on DreamHost. If you go to radiobrendo.com, you can click the DreamHost link. You don't have to on that. You can just go to dreamhost.com. Sign up for a package, hosting package. They're like $97 for a year of hosting.
Good deal.
And make it even better deal by using the code RadioBrendoMan at checkout, and you'll save $50 off your order.
And
You get a free domain registration.
such a deal.
And if you get a year worth of hosting, they already give you a free one, so you get 2 free domain names.
So if you can't be a guest on your favorite podcast,
Just start your own podcast.
Have your own podcast.
Talking about how you'd like to be a guest.
Yeah.
on
In fact,
another
you could do an
podcast.
episode each week about a podcast you wish you could be a guest on.
That'd be the saddest podcast ever. The title of your podcast would be the saddest podcast
It would be called
ever.
Podcast Wishes. And each week, this week I'm going to talk about how I wish I could be on Marin. This week I'm going to talk about how I wish I could be on Talking Dead. That's good.
That's
That'd be
not
good.
a podcast.
Oh, it's a TV show, huh?
But I think there's probably a Walking Dead podcast.
Probably. Whatever. You get the idea. It's not my podcast. Someone else is doing this. I'm just giving them ideas.
Well, you know what else is a good idea?
What's that?
Using Amazon Prime to save lots of money
That is.
and watch cool shows
listen to
and
cool
listen to music. And if you want to figure out, if you want to decide if that's for you or not, maybe you're on the fence. Well, you can get a free 30-day trial of Amazon Prime by going to radiobrendo.com, click the Amazon trial link, and you'll get a 30-day free trial. You get on the Amazon Prime Music, which is unlimited ad-free access to over 1 million songs, and it's only $99 a year if you choose to sign up. And you also get other Prime benefits, which includes over 40,000 movies and TV episodes. And they've been ramping up their own Amazon, their shows.
Yeah, they got
I
new
mean,
exclusive shows.
the one with Jeffrey Tambor won like a bunch of Emmys.
Yeah.
And then there's some other
There's
cool
like new ones
shows.
coming out now.
Yeah, I heard that Bosch one.
yeah.
Everybody's talking about that.
Which is funny because that's what Janelle used to call our friend Karen Bosch.
Yeah.
She was Bosch.
Yeah,
Boshy or Posh Bosch.
yeah.
So when I saw that, I was like, oh, that's Karen Bosch.
And you get the Kindle Owners Lending Library. If you have a Kindle, you get 1 free Kindle book a month.
And of course,
And the unlimited free 2-day shipping with no minimum order size, which right there
yeah.
makes it. I mean, that.
Well, you know what we did? I ordered something right before we left on our trip. And since we weren't in a hurry to get it because I knew it was going to come while we were gone,
You did
I did the like long one.
and they give you
and you
credit
get $1 credit.
for digital items. Get a
So
show.
Lots of good options.
Well, and then also even if you don't have Prime, if you order, you should order stuff on Amazon because Amazon's cool.
That's right.
Go to radiobrendo.com, click the Amazon banner, and then order stuff like normal. And it's the same great Amazon prices, but you're helping out the show. And lots of people have been doing that.
That's right.
I really appreciate it. We had another big. Well, this has like been 2 weeks worth.
But still really good.
Yes.
So let's find out what people bought on Amazon.
We got a 320 gigabyte hard drive compatible with Xbox 360.
Nice.
$37.
That's a lot of gigabytes per buck.
It's a lot of games.
Yeah.
Then somebody got a gigabyte GeForce GTX gaming video graphics card.
That's cool. That will make your video games look
$359. Well, that's a serious video
Ooh,
card right there.
geez, yeah.
That's no messing around there.
It's gonna look really good.
And then you got a lot. So somebody got some put together a gaming
their
computer
Angry
here.
Birds is gonna look nice.
So we got a Logitech wireless combo with keyboard and mouse. And then we got a Passport Ultra portable external USB, 1 terabyte external USB 3.0 hard drive, $56.
Dang.
This is a world now where you get a
terabyte
terabyte
exists for like less than $100.
Whereas I remember my first computer had like 256 megabytes of memory, and that hard drive was probably like that alone was like 500, 600 bucks.
Wow.
So crazy.
That's insane.
And then we got 101 Dalmatians Diamond Edition 2-disc Blu-ray.
Oh, it's out of the vault?
It's been out of the vault. What's coming out of the vault. The big one is Aladdin's finally coming out.
Oh. The vault has always just driven me nuts.
It's the dumbest thing.
But they make a
They're
lot
also
of money
geniuses.
Because every time one of them comes
hurry
out,
up.
"Ooh, go buy it again." How many times have people bought 101 Dalmatians? Now everyone else is running to buy it, and I get it.
We got Jurassic Park on Blu-ray.
Nice.
We got Long Way Down and Long Way Around. Are you familiar with these?
No, what's that?
So it's Ewan McGregor and his friend of his.
Oh, they do the motorcycle
and
thing.
they do a motorcycle tour. So Long Way Down is they go from Scotland to South Africa.
That's crazy.
And it's because it's like this mix of like travel show. Then they're also like it's not just travel because they like go around and doing all these humanitarian things, but they're also just touring around. And it's also just like you learn about like motorcycles and just their like wacky adventures.
Cool.
It's really good. I've watched both of these, like the whole thing. And then Long Way Around, they go from London and they go all the way around the world.
On a motorcycle?
Well, they go on I think they have to fly or go on a boat for parts of it, but they go like across multiple continents.
I guess can you drive through the channel?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Is it just a train?
Yeah, but they like go all across like Europe, Asia.
That's cool.
And like North America, and it's crazy. Let me look at this real quick. It'll say. It says Long Way Around is they go through London to New York via Europe, Ukraine, Russia, Kazakhstan, Mongolia, Siberia, the USA, and Canada.
Nice.
So they go all the way through basically Europe and Asia, and then they go over and then they fly over and.
Okay, so there's like 240 5-star reviews, a bunch of 4 stars, a couple 3 stars. What are the 1 stars? Just give us a 1-star example. What is someone complaining about on the show?
Could have been, this show needs to be redone. Same trip, but with no name, average guys. A third guy rode almost the whole way with these two, and he seemed friendlier and more interesting, yet he was ignored. Not to mention they always had a fallback plan by getting help from their entourage of vehicles and men that planned the trip for them. This was nothing more than a couple of friends who wanted to take a trip but didn't want to pay for it, and it's evidenced by completely overlooking the culture, native people, and landscape that they traveled across, which is completely not true.
Not to mention, so no, they totally didn't have a fallback plan, so they're safe doing this trip.
Oh, and then he goes off about how another annoying aspect is McGregor's anger that some local people killed a bear for its coat and organs to sell. Typical privileged millionaire trying to force his beliefs on others.
Huh. This other one is complaining that they had someone follow along with them too. That's funny. So people. But
how
are really
else would you have done that?
You just bring a camera and hold it. That's funny. Okay, I was just curious.
They complain way too much.
All right.
I really liked it.
I love seeing when there's just a few dissenters.
Yeah.
It's fun to read sometimes.
All right, and someone got Ghirardelli chocolate intense dark squares.
Ooh, are they eating those or are you cooking with those? Either way.
Pretty sure.
Do you eat a intense dark square?
If you like dark chocolate.
Guess so.
Optimum Nutrition. Oh, here we go. Gold Standard Whey Protein.
Double rich chocolate. Maybe they're mixing that with their Ghirardelli.
It's way cool. I need to get some more protein. Get back on the morning protein shakes.
Which way do you make it?
I make it with my whey shaker.
Way cool.
It shakes the whey out.
Okay, this one I'm curious about.
What? Jagged Little Pill. It's the Alanis Morissette on vinyl.
Oh, on vinyl.
But look at this.
They put it out in cassette. Yeah,
audio cassette. That's happening.
That's happening.
New. You could buy a new. Oh, this is There's only one left in stock. I wonder if it's just a leftover.
Could
But
be.
somebody had a brand new cassette of that. Like,
Well, I was just wondering why it was so much for an old album, but the vinyl, that makes sense.
yeah, people are buying vinyl, man.
That's cool. I love it. Love
All
it.
right, then we got an Epson Workforce wireless color all-in-one inkjet printer.
I wonder if that goes with the other up there, the computer stuff.
And we got somebody dropped a bunch of money.
Pub table set?
And this is
That's cool. I want to see that.
I want to see what these look like. Obsidian pub table set. So these are like,
nice.
It's like a full-on like table and chairs.
Like the stools. That's cool.
Look at like, who would have thought we'd gotten to a point where you can just buy furniture on
I
Amazon?
know. How does stores even exist anymore?
I don't know.
Like, who's going to go to a furniture store when you can have it shipped to your house?
Well, people that don't want to put together furniture.
I guess. Still, it's pretty nice.
But yeah, look at that. That's like a full-on
That's
pub
cool.
table with stools.
Sweet. Well, thanks everyone for buying stuff and supporting the show. We really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Very, very cool.
All right. So on the current events side, I guess we've already talked about most of these. So James Riley was cool. We got Long Beach Comic Expo coming up the end of February.
Still going to that?
Are we still going to that?
I don't know. Are we?
Just for a day.
All right.
We got pro badges.
All right.
Let's just go for the day.
All right.
You don't want to go?
I don't know. We'll talk about it. Well, we'll see. If anyone says they're going to be there, we'll go.
We gotta go to try and get. We gotta put in for long.
You're
We
right.
gotta go.
You're right.
Otherwise, I guarantee you, we won't.
I won't be bitter or anything.
If we don't like face to face with them, we're not gonna get.
They're going to hear that we were at WonderCon and be all jealous.
We're not gonna get Long Beach Comic Con in the fall
That's true.
if we don't have some
You're
FaceTime
right.
with
Okay,
somebody.
okay.
Plus, it's a fun little convention.
It is.
A bunch of our friends are gonna be there. Derek said he'd come.
It's free.
Derek said he'd come, and it's
All right.
free. And
Derek has gone to that before.
yeah.
Then
In fact,
WonderCon.
you met up with him there once when I wasn't
You weren't
there.
Yeah.
It was like a George and Elaine
Yeah.
moment.
No, it's cool. I had fun hanging out.
Yeah.
It was different.
And then we got WonderCon Easter weekend, so it's actually the weekend after Benson and I get back from WrestleMania.
So you're gonna be all beat,
I don't think so. I
Oh,
think
no.
I'll just be
be all excited.
yeah.
And we got our panel is on Saturday.
And our panel's on Saturday from 4 to 5 o'clock
which is a
in
sweet
the
spot.
ballroom at the
The
Marriott,
elite ballroom.
the Elite Ballroom
Yes.
at the Marriott. So if you're gonna be WonderCon, definitely come check out our panel. Me and Phil and Josh are gonna be there.
We can't give out stickers at the panel, but I'll have them.
We can give them out
at
in the
show.
hallway.
So if you want to.
If you meet us in the hallway after the panel.
Yeah.
But we'll also be doing our webcomics panel. So tell your friends if you
Yeah.
know anybody that's a webcomic person or likes webcomics.
Or just wants to hear us live.
Yeah. It's kind of like Radio BrendoMan, except we only talk about webcomics.
Yeah.
We
like
talk about- but it's fun.
It's good. It's fun, and Josh is hosting, so that's good for some laughs too. And he keeps us on task.
Yeah.
If Josh was like moderating our podcast, we'd only go for like 45 minutes as opposed to 4 hours, I think.
It's probably true. But why would anybody want to do that?
I don't know. People want us to talk for 4 hours, right?
Yeah, we get complaints if we don't. I did a classic episode last week, and that's why I was worried. I'm like, should I actually record something? Because what if people... Because, like, the classic
you,
episodes
buffered it a little bit.
are like 30 minutes.
You added like another 5 minutes at the
Yeah.
beginning.
And
Which was fun, by the way. I listened to it,
yeah.
and I liked hearing like our old songs. And I felt
Yeah.
bad because at the end you were like, I don't think Phil listens to this, but I miss him. I'm in China. I don't know why." And I felt bad because I probably didn't listen to it then. But to be fair, in my defense, I still did not understand what you were talking about with this, I'm recording a podcast thing. And I'm like, what?
But you did give me permission to use...
Yeah, let's use this. I'm
music.
like, cool. I don't understand where this exists, but that's cool. You can use it. So we got a couple good Christmas songs on there from bands that I was in. So
Yeah, I think it was cool, because I was like, people can hear Janelle singing, and they
Yeah.
can hear you singing.
that's that one of me is the only song of me singing that's ever been officially released.
There you go.
And then Janelle's had a few,
It's a
obviously,
rarity.
the ballets, but that's it. That's the only one.
So if you haven't listened to the classic episode yet, because you were on the fence, if you want to hear Phil singing...
If nothing else, skip forward. You can hear it. Tell me what
Yeah.
you think.
Yeah.
Actually, I like listening to it. I was like ready. I'm like, I mean, it's not. I'm not saying it's like amazing, but it's not as embarrassing as I like imagine it would be hearing me.
And it's also funny to hear like Phil was telling me, it's like slightly higher voiced Brendo.
Yeah, well, it is funny. You just sound younger, like because you're like, no, it's Brendo, another BrendoMan, and they're like, hey guys, it's Brendo here. I'm in China. And you just sound younger and like
I was only
I don't know,
20. I was 24.
You could easily tell it was a different time.
That was like over 10 years ago. I can it's crazy. And like I figured out a new thing to do on BrendoMan.com is just like going to this day, like because BrendoMan.com is now approaching 13 years. It'll be 13 years old in April.
10 years ago.
So I'm like reflecting back on like posts from like wow. So here's this post from when I was, because it's like such a different time. Like now there's so much like I can reflect on. So I'm like, I think I finally have an angle for how to revisit BrendoMan.com.
That's cool.
And so I've been doing that. But yeah. So there you go.
It was fun. It was good. I thought it was a good episode too. It was entertaining.
Cool.
So I liked it.
All right. Well, so look forward to WonderCon. There's a con happening in May, but I don't have a lot of details on it yet. It's actually a friend of Topher's.
Okay.
Is doing a convention in LA called. It's the same people that do. It's this group. They founded this group called Whedonpolis, and they do the charity like Once More with Feeling screenings and like and Dr. Horrible screenings like at Comic-Con and stuff. But it's actually going to be called Fandomopolis.
Oh, that's cool.
And I think we're going to be doing our full-time creative work on a part-time schedule panel there. But also sounds like a cool little convention.
Is he doing that at WonderCon too?
Oh yeah, we're also doing that at work. So I'm doing two panels at WonderCon. Wow.
Is that like the last one of the show too, kind of thing?
I don't know. I think so. He hasn't. I don't know if he said exactly when our panel is, but
that's cool.
So I guess I'll also be doing that at WonderCon.
That ups your like panel count is.
Well, I did it. I did it at WonderCon last year.
You did it last year, and you've done that one twice at Comic-Con.
Yeah, twice at Comic-Con, and I've done it once at Long Beach.
Plus
I've done a lot of panels.
Yeah, that's nuts.
I'm a panelist now, professional.
Isn't that crazy though? Like, did you ever
panelist.
imagine like going to Comic-Con that you would one day be on panels like talking?
No.
You've done 3 panels at proper Comic-Con.
Yeah.
Not to mention all the other cons.
Yeah, that's crazy. Nuts. It's pretty awesome.
That's really cool. We've hit the pinnacle. We've reached the Pacific.
It's funny because we keep saying that, and then we do something else cool.
I'm telling you, I mean, WonderCon was like a really pleasant surprise. Like, you called me on the trip, and I was like, I didn't hear the phone because we were in the park, and I listened to the voicemail later. I'm like, Joe, I forgot to say, it's awesome.
Figured that would even make you even more excited on your vacation.
Yeah.
So speaking of vacation, we mentioned it a little bit, but let's get into it.
Some highlights. I won't go into too much.
So you went to Disney World. Before this trip, the last time we've been to Disney World was when you, me, Janelle, and Steven went in 2006.
Yeah, so it's been like 9 years.
Yeah, so
little less than 9 years. So
I think we
went in like March.
A lot of new things.
A lot of new stuff. A lot of the stuff.
What park changed the most?
Probably Magic Kingdom. Well, Magic Kingdom has the most new stuff.
Well, yeah, because they have all of Fantasyland.
The whole Fantasyland. They got the new ride there. I guess that's a pretty big change. But then the Hollywood Studios changed the most in that. Was it Hollywood Studios when we went?
Yes.
They had already dropped the MGM.
MGM had been dropped.
But they are like going away from the whole studios thing. So they have now dropped their backstage
studio tour. They're not even pretending to be a working studio.
There's a lot less. Like, it's that park you can do in a day.
Yeah.
It's kind of nuts. And I feel like they're going to get rid of that Indiana Jones stunt show. Like, I feel like that's got to be on its last legs. Yeah. Although Janelle got picked again to go up.
Wow, she's gotten picked like multiple times.
Yeah, I think this is like her 3rd or 4th time.
What'd she get to do this time?
Same kind of thing. She was like screaming and stuff.
Did they get to do the whole show?
Yeah, they did the whole show, which is perfect because like right after they did it, it started raining. So
did the kids like it?
Well, okay, they loved it, but they were like freaking out because Janelle got picked and like, where's mommy going? And I'm like, she's gonna be in the show. And they're like, wait, what do you mean? Like, they're like, we gotta save her seat. I'm like, no, she's not coming back. What do you mean she's not coming back? I'm like, she's gonna be in the show. And they're like, whoa! They were just like flipping out. Where's mommy? What's happening? And so like she was up there and they were like trying to get her to wave at her and stuff. And she did there. Like, it was just like their minds were blown that like we were at a show and then mommy was like in the show.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
So
That's really cool.
So that was really fun.
Were they just like in awe the whole time, or they just like super? Because like they've been to Disneyland, but for somebody that like I remember the first time I went to Disney, like you have an idea of what Disney World is like, you've seen, but to actually go there because it's so huge.
It's
just like
everything is just a little different, but there's a lot of familiar elements.
Yeah.
Especially Magic Kingdom, but elsewhere as well.
But were they just had a blast?
It was fun. I mean, it's funny because we did learn quickly that you can't keep the same schedule that you do when you're just adults. Like when we went, we were at the parks from opening until closing, like every day.
So you would have to take breaks.
We had, you got to take breaks. We had to sleep in a couple mornings because they just they were falling asleep walking around and stuff. We're like, all right. So we had to, not that we didn't go tons, but we were not there at opening every day.
Yeah. Because I just remember like our week,
till closing.
We were I feel like we were in our hotel room for like less than 6 hours a day.
Oh yeah, if that. And then when we're done in the parks, we went to downtown Disney.
Because especially like our trip, we're like, we'll sleep on the cruise.
Yeah.
Like we'll sleep on the cruise.
We got time.
We don't like this. Like we're gonna make the most of this.
We even went and saw like a movie while we were there. We went to the Cirque du Soleil.
Oh, yeah.
Like it was nonstop. And we had even like, we might go to the movies in downtown Disney, and it was just. That's not to say we didn't have an amazing time. You just have to adjust your schedule a bit.
Yeah.
Especially because the night before we left, Janelle and I each slept about an hour because we just had last minute packing and trying to get everything done. So we were just beat. But we caught up. It was super fun. Other highlights, I kind of told you about this, but they have this new thing. It's actually all of the parks have different stuff, but specifically the one we did, it was our favorite, was at Epcot. They have these interactive games where this one was a Phineas and Ferb thing.
They give you an Android.
They give you a phone, but it's like it says it wouldn't work for a real phone, so you don't steal it. And it's a Phineas and Ferb thing, and you're on a spy mission. Agent Perry is captured, and you have to help him out. So you get briefed on your secret missions.
Yeah.
You go around to all these different areas, and it actually activates things in the real world. So you go up to a statue in a window, and it says, press the button to scan the statue, and you do this, and you see a laser light come down over the statue, and then it activates an animatronic, and it talks to you and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's super cool.
I watched the videos
throughout.
And I had heard about it when they debuted it because they also have it at other parks.
Right.
Like at Magic Kingdom, they have these windows and other things, and it just sounds so amazing, and I hope they bring it out.
It's so much fun.
I know if they did that, I probably would get an annual pass.
It was so much fun. They had ones even where you would go into a store and it would tell you which employee to go up to, and you set a secret code, and then they would give you a thing, and then that had a code.
You said the kids just. Because if I'm a kid, that's the coolest thing.
It was amazing. They just.
Because that's the Goonies or something.
It was totally like that. I mean, there's one where it's over the moat around the castle in Japan, and you do the activation thing, and Perry comes out on a boat, and there's bombs going off in the water, and and the thing's talking to you, and I mean it's crazy, and you activate it.
Yeah.
And if
so are people just that had no idea they're what's going on?
They see us, and I'm videoing up here, we're doing something, they're what is happening right now? I'm we're doing that right now. That's us. So that was super fun.
Yeah.
We went with my whole family. The purpose of the trip was my mom was graduating.
Yeah.
So we actually did go to her graduation, and she got her bachelor's degree.
And she's already working on her master's degree?
Yep, but that graduation is in Utah.
Is in Utah. Oh.
Which is, they said this was the record most people had ever had at one of their graduations.
If you want if you're at college and you want people to go to graduation, have it at Disney World.
That was nuts though. We almost missed it because the transportation.
Because you stayed, so let's go a little bit. You stayed at the Contemporary Resort, which is
for a couple of the nights.
One of the resorts, that's one of the OG Florida resorts. The monorail goes through, and it's super nice.
Yeah.
And because normally when we go, it's the budget, but they're really nice. The all-star hotel, they're really nice.
But like you said, you don't
barely
go there for
in the room.
Yeah. So it was really nice, but the one thing we found that they don't have, that the budget ones do, is their transportation is much less together. The budget ones, I think they expect people to want to be at the hotel more there.
Yeah.
but like they only have one bus stop and everyone's crowded around it. The monorail kept going down, so we had to like walk to the park a couple of times.
You said you walked. It took you like 2 hours to get.
It took us 2 hours to get from that hotel to the graduation because the monorail broke down. Then we had to walk. And then the bus dropped us off in the wrong place, and we had to walk like 2 miles around to the other side. I mean, literally that morning we had to walk from the hotel to the park.
But that's
take a bus,
it's also a
2 miles.
testament to how insanely huge.
Yeah,
the
this is
Florida,
all within their property.
Yeah.
So anyway, but it was cool. We made it. We survived, and we it's funny because we had like the little Wii Fit meter, and at the end of the thing, we had each walked about 90 miles.
Yep.
Because we averaged around 10 miles a day because we were walking all day.
Yeah. But then to balance that out, you were eating at
But
like
we also were eating
places.
like so much food, so we both came in right around 5 pounds up from the trip.
Imagine how much weight we would have gained if you hadn't been walking.
If we hadn't been walking 10 miles a day, I have no idea. It's bad. But here's the thing that's totally unfair. Like college years or 10 years old, 10 years ago, us.
Oh yeah.
If I had walked 90 miles, it wouldn't have mattered how much food I ate. I would have dropped 20 pounds. But that's just the way it goes when you get, older. So anyway, but it was super cool. We did the water park, which we've never done before.
Yeah, so that was your Lagoon. So it was great,
That
right?
was super fun.
Giant lazy river.
Huge lazy river.
The kids love the water park. Like I asked both of them what their favorite thing was, and they said
they really
water
like
park.
That.
Like Audrey just couldn't. She's like, Dad, I hate water slides.
Yeah, well, it's cool because they have. We've been to other parks, but they usually only have a little kiddie area and then big stuff, and they don't have a lot for kind of that in between age where they want to go on slides, but they're not wanting too crazy stuff. They had a ton of stuff for them here.
Yeah,
all kinds of intermediate stuff. So it was really, really fun.
And then you actually did one thing there that I was too scared to do when I went as a kid, which was you went on the shark reef.
Yeah, actually got to
snorkeling.
That. You get to snorkel through with the sharks. I mean, I've done a lot of snorkeling before too, but you're not always like that close to sharks, you know. So it was pretty cool though.
It's pretty awesome.
So yeah, I mean, I could go through each day, but I don't want to bore anyone with the Disney World stuff. Let's just say it was awesome. And
but the new Snow White ride,
was cool.
The mine train.
Okay, a funny little thing about that though, the way this one works, it's like in a mine train. Imagine like the carts, like Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
So the front and back of the cart is suspended from a little, thing from the platform below, right?
Yeah.
So it swivels back and forth as you go around a curve, right? So if you turn left, it kind of swings up to the left. Well, Janelle and I got in, and each cart holds 4 people. So Janelle was by Luke in the front, I was by Audrey in the back, but Janelle and I were both on the same side, and so our cart was totally unbalanced. We had all the weight on one side. So as we're sitting still, it's kind of like rocked to the left already. So on the ride, as we're going around the curves, it kind of just barely bumps a little bit. It doesn't really swing. And then when we're waiting to get back in line, the thing's like sitting sideways, and as it gets up to the platform, it corrects back up vertical, so everyone can see bats were unbalanced over there. So the second time we went on it, we balanced it out, and it was actually quite a bit more thrilling. So.
That's cool.
It was really cool, though. And another big thing they've done there, especially at the Magic Kingdom, is they've updated a lot of the queues where they have tons of games and activities and interactive stuff in the queue.
Yeah.
So, the Mine Train one did, but Peter Pan, Winnie the Pooh, Haunted Mansion had a lot of cool stuff. So they've updated a lot of that to make it more
entertaining. They've updated their Haunted Mansion quite a bit.
Yeah, they had some cool new stuff. They had a room. It was like an Escher painting where there's stairways going, or kind of like the end of Labyrinth kind of thing.
Yeah.
And there's footsteps and you can see the ghosts walking up and down all different directions, and it was really cool. Plus they got a lot of other new effects and stuff in there.
Yeah.
So that's cool. Other things one of the things I love about there is they have a lot of stuff that we used to have here but we don't anymore. So Tom Sawyer's Island with the fort open.
Carousel
Progress, Country Bear Jamboree, People Mover.
They have the rockets where they're supposed to be.
Rockets up on top, and Swiss Family Robinson.
And now add to the list Captain EO.
Yep.
And Electrical Parade.
That's right, they had the Electrical Parade in. They also have Soarin', we didn't make it on that, though.
Yeah, but Soarin's coming back.
But not with the original show.
Do you think they're going to get rid of Patrick Warburton?
I don't know. I hope not.
Because it's pretty funny.
It's great.
Especially when there's the guy that looks like George.
Yeah, they got the George guy. I don't know. But I'm pretty sure they're going to be changing that around. So anyway, we got to do a lot of cool stuff. We ate a lot of good food, obviously.
Oh, Josh said we saw something that may have meant that Captain EO was going to be back in March.
Oh, all right. Well, so
That'd be
maybe
cool.
we'll have him back.
We're sending out.
We got a really funny video of Luke.
Luke did the Captain
He
EO
did.
dance, but then it's funny because the thing that I like most about Luke that he has a very like dignity about him. Like if he thinks that you're like having a laugh at his expense, he will
have
shut
none of
it down. So he's like, "I'll do the dance," but and you're like,
I'm
"Sing
like,
the
"Sing the
song."
song." He's like,
"No,
Dad, no.
come on, we're
I'm
in
not gonna do
public."
that. Yeah.
But like Janelle did their full.
She did the whole choreography of it.
Because you guys did like it. Well, you were in the original group. We're in the air band, but I remember that because that was my freshman year,
Yep.
and her and Jonathan and a bunch of you guys
Bunch
did
of us
it,
did the Captain
and then
EO
you
dance.
quit because Janelle was being a workhorse.
She was very bossy about it, but I still helped them edit the soundtrack and stuff. I was still a part of it. So anyway, she knows the whole dance, and she performed it, and I got
And
a
it's
whole video of
hilarious
it. People
to
are
walk.
walking
People
by,
are
looking
walking
at her,
by
like,
like,
what is this lady doing?
It's pretty funny.
So yeah, that was good. We got some really cute videos of the kids. Also, a lot of classic film moves, like me leaving it on video in my pocket,
Yeah.
and then I pull it out and hit and turn it off when I think I'm recording, and like keep switching it, toggling it the opposite way.
Yeah.
So we got a lot of good stuff like that.
It's pretty cool.
So yeah, it was good. It was super fun. Great trip.
Yeah. So while you were gone, I worked on my I had a final push for my school thing. She's like, "All right, this is it. We're done. We got all the application stuff. Sign this stuff. We're gonna submit." And she had said it was gonna take 2 weeks. So I was like, "Man, I'm not even gonna hear until like." But then like less than a week later, I got approved.
You're in.
I'm in, and then I'm also starting graduate school.
So you're gonna do the online
Grad school,
I mean,
which I can
physically-
continue to do even once I get a job because I take one class at a time, and it's all online. And then but starting next week, I'm going to be doing my certification classes, and that's like I have to do 20 hours a week of like lab studies, like self-guided
You
studies.
have to actually go in.
Yeah,
for
I have to
those.
go in, and then I have a class that's like 2 weeks, and then I do another couple weeks of lab studies, and then I have another class, and that class is even more intensive.
Huh.
And
This is
so,
cool because
once I'm done, I think I'll finish in May, and I'll have 2 certifications.
that's awesome. And you didn't know. I mean, with last show, you didn't know you were gonna get it.
It didn't sound like I was, so I'm starting all that,
That's cool.
and I'm going to be working on my master's in information systems.
Nice.
So I'll be a supercomputer nerd.
You can get all those sweet gigs that you wanted to get.
I just wanted it. I'm glad. I need to get that master's degree because I'm tired of like explaining my bachelor's degree. Because my bachelor's degree is in like youth ministry, and so people are like, "Wait, what?"
What's happening here?
And I'm like, "Yeah." And so now I can be like, "I have a master's in information systems," and that's the end of that conversation.
Yeah,
So
it's good.
and then I started scouting out some other trails while you were gone.
Yeah.
Because there's this, I guess they call it a city trail that goes around like there's like UKIPA is so weird because so where we live it's kind of this mix of like track homes, but then there's like rural, like there's like farms.
Yeah, there's like
There's like there's like trailer parks. There's just like standalone houses. It's this weird mix here. But then like in other parts of UKIPA, there's very carefully planned, fancy like track homes,
Right.
typical suburban
right.
with sidewalks and all this stuff.
Right.
And
Fancy
so
sidewalks.
one of those areas there's like because there's a city trail that goes behind all that, like it's up in the hills.
Yeah, like between the mountains and the houses.
So there's a trail that's like 4 miles long, and so I did like half of it, and then I turned around and went back, and then I told you about it. So the other day we did like the mother of all.
Yeah, we were out. We took the kids and we did a 4-hour hike after school. That was on like Wednesday.
We walked the
Thursday.
entire trail.
Yeah, and we did it one way. Like we started
It was
at one
Wednesday.
spot, and then Janelle picked us up at the other side after
Yeah.
she got out. And we did, how many miles did we say? I don't know.
It was like 5.
5 miles, something like that. But it was cool. We like discovered all kinds of stuff along the way.
Because I didn't get far enough in this trail that we found, because we were like, how do people get on and off this trail without going the whole 4 miles? And it turns out there's multiple entry points.
Yeah, because it's all like, it's kind of not fenced in, but it's like,
yeah,
there's like a fence on one side and a mountain on the other.
Yeah.
So it's kind of,
and it's cool because you can see the whole. It's like a really cool view.
Yeah.
From up there.
Found the hidden park.
We found a park. We found there was a skate park, and the kids, they made it to like towards the very end. Luke was just done.
Yeah, but
like
we ended up, there's like a mini mart, so we bribed them with like, all right, well, you can pick out any treat at the mini mart if you make it like the last mile.
Yeah.
And they did it. They made it.
Yeah.
That was like pretty. I mean, we were gone for 4 hours. That's pretty good for a hike, you know.
We hiked a lot. We saw a roadrunner.
Yeah, saw a roadrunner. We saw the other day we saw velvet ants.
Yeah.
That was cool.
And then the other day we got even, because so then there's the other trail at the major trailhead that it goes straight up the mountain.
Does like switchbacks.
We're gonna make it up there, but we made it the highest we've ever made it, and it was just gorgeous.
Yeah, really cool viewpoint. We could see everywhere.
Yeah, you could see like out like into like surrounding areas, and
yeah,
it was amazing.
It's crazy because I've lived here for 5 years now, and we've hiked around a lot, but I had no idea how extensive all the trails were. Like there's trails everywhere.
Because now we found there's another trailhead that we want to try, because we found out that trail that we were on, if you keep going a little bit longer, it goes to the entrance of another trailhead that does another one up the hill.
And then there's like 2 others that go up and around across the ridge.
Yeah.
There's a couple of loops, and that's all just this one trail system, not to mention the state park and Oak Glen and others. And so basically each day we go on a hike, we've gone in a different place.
Yep.
Which is really cool. We haven't repeated, I mean, one of them we kind of repeated parts of it and stuff, but we've done something unique each time, so it's cool.
So we've been doing a lot of that.
So we've been active. That's good.
And then on the inactive part, I got hooked on Storage Wars. I found a website that had like where I could stream all of them to my Chromecast. So I watched all of. We'll talk about it in a minute, a little bit more detail. But I watched all of Buried Treasure,
nice.
And then I watched most of season 5 of Storage Wars. Like I went on a pretty big binge, and then so I haven't been doing. That's pretty much what I've been doing.
That's cool. Well, you're enjoying your last week of not having major commitments.
That's all over on Tuesday.
So what'd you read?
Brings it to Book Corner, and I have been reading a lot of books.
That's good.
So to start with, I finished The Great Brain Does It Again. Wait, no.
Well, the last one is The Great Brain is Back.
Oh, so I finished. I finished Great Brain Does It Again, and I finished The Great Brain is Back. Those were both really great.
We kind of talked about it a bit, but the last one being published posthumously, you still liked it? I still liked it, and I like the stories. I like that each book things like there was always a serious tale in them, and those the stakes got progressed. I'm like, what's he gonna do next? Because the last one they straight up get kidnapped by these criminals who are going to kill them, and they manage to trick them. Yeah. Yeah, it's cool.
Which is pretty crazy, and also it's just I was hoping, I just wish we could have gotten a little bit more to where he ends up, because the ongoing thing I'm never gonna girls ruin a man, so because the Great Brain gets a girlfriend, and that's a big deal. So I just want to wait for John when what happened to him. We never get that, but
it was good. It was a really good series.
It's a really good series. I love the characters. Oh, they cut the Devious Means out of the Storage Wars episode.
Aww.
Oh, that stinks.
Bummer. Well, we'll know it's there. It'll probably be on the deleted scenes on the DVD, right?
Probably.
Do they put DVDs out of those?
They do. They also have all these YouTube videos of deleted scenes.
So maybe it's out there somewhere.
But I watched some clips of some of the episodes. Daryl is just on fire. He's gotten some ridiculous. He found this locker in this other episode that I watched. So like he hit like an art locker like in season 3
I
that was
remember
like $200,000. He found a locker in season 5 that was like several $100,000 worth of toys. Like it was just
Wow.
not, and these are like the like collectible toys, not like just any toys. These are like the like statues and like stuff you see like.
See, some of it I know is planted. I'm aware that there is setup, but some of it obviously is real stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it has to
Like
be.
he found, Daryl seems to keep finding like lockers from like other dealers. Because like those guys got to keep their
Right.
stuff in storage. So it's just all stuff that's like ready to go.
That's cool.
It's so nuts. So yeah, so the Great Brain. So we're done
with that series.
With that.
That was our series of 8. So
What's
now
next?
We're looping back to our single book.
Okay.
The next one is we're reading another Gordon Corman one.
I still got to track down a copy.
If you have to borrow it, you can borrow it.
Yeah.
But I know you wanted to read it at the same time.
Yeah.
But it's called I Want to Go Home. For years I would have said it was my absolute favorite book. I don't know. I got a lot of favorite books, but it's definitely my favorite funny book. Like I've reread it over and over again, and it's still one of those books that I literally laugh out loud at when I read it. And it's my favorite Gordon Corman book. We've read a lot of his, and I'm excited for you to read this one because I think you're going to like it. I know we've done a lot of his lately too, but this is like the pinnacle. Like I love this book.
Yeah, because we've read 2 of his series.
We read 2 of his series, and they were good. They were really good.
Yeah. He writes an insane. His output is pretty nuts.
It is, but it's quality though.
Yeah.
I mean, like it's all really good stuff.
I envy somebody that can write like that.
Yeah. Well, not to mention the fact that he started when he was like 13.
Yeah.
So. But so that's gonna be really good. It's called I Want to Go Home, and you can join our book club. It's on there. Also, then while we're on single books, we're gonna read the James Riley one.
Yeah.
I guess we'll do that one after that.
Story Thieves.
So we'll do that one next.
Just because we want to read it, because then he said he would be on the show,
Right.
and we want to have him on the show after we've read it.
So we'll give you. So if you want to do that one, that would be a key one. Even if you're not in the book club, if you want to be up to date, so that when we do the interview, you know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
You should get James Riley's The Story Thieves, and you can read that along with us in the next month or 2.
Because then we're gonna have him on the show.
We'll have him on the show.
And let's see. Oh, I finished Deadbeat, which was it's like the 6th or 7th book in the Dresden Files.
Right.
It was amazing. I'm like, what's gonna happen next? And like it just escalates. So basically, like these necromancers come to Chicago, and like in the Dresden Files, necromancy is like the darkest of dark magic.
Okay.
And so like he's got to stop it, and it takes this crazy turn at the end where he like, I'll just say he animates. So to be able to fight the necromancers, he kind of because like good like white hat magicians aren't allowed to practice necromancy on human corpses.
Okay.
So his loophole is he reanimates, because this takes place in Chicago, so it's that Natural History Museum where it's one of the few places that has a real T-Rex skeleton.
Oh, okay.
So he's able to reanimate the T-Rex and basically uses it to fight.
That's cool.
It's amazing.
Nice.
And then it's a really good series of books. I really like the direction they're headed, and it's exciting, and so it's a good book. And then I also read because the San Bernardino County Library is on the digital library system, and in San Diego I would try to get like new books, and they would it'd be like 80 holds and take forever. But I don't know if as many people in San Bernardino are like caught on to the ebook system. So I go in their library, and they've just got everything available immediately. So I read Lena Dunham's book that came out just this year. It's called Not That Kind of Girl, and it was really good. It's really funny, and I just like her sense of humor, and also it just gives you a good perspective on what it's like to be a woman in Hollywood,
right.
And also just a woman in general. Like, I don't know, I feel like I don't know, it sounds weird, but I feel like guys, sometimes we just have no idea.
It's true. We've been actually having some conversations about that this week, like
as far as both harassment and also just
an imbalance of treatment.
And then imbalance of treatment, and then also just their physical stuff.
Yeah. Well, okay. I want to make sure I say it safely. But Janelle was saying someone that she knew that had worked at a school, was a female, and was told by her male bosses, principals or administrators, whatever, that her clothing was too sexy. And
Yeah.
she had to like dress less sexy. And then we're saying like that would never happen in reverse. Like that
Yeah.
couldn't happen in reverse. Like
Yeah.
this is inconceivable. And how is that like fair in that balance? Like. So anyway, not to get too like serious and heavy-handed or anything, but it is interesting. Like there is, even though like I would say, and Janelle would agree, like when we were talking that at this time in history, this is the most equal probably
It's
that women
the most,
have ever
but there's
did.
still a
But
huge
there's
still a huge gap.
Yeah. And even acknowledging the differences. I mean, obviously there are physical differences that need to be addressed differently. The treatment and the way that people are viewed is they're still not quite there.
Still got a long way to go.
But it's definitely better than ever.
It is
before.
better, but it's still but it's just Anyway, it's a really entertaining book. Because she mixes it up with like funny stuff, serious stuff, and she writes about like going to camp, and that made me feel that was cool reading about camp, and I feel like we're really onto something.
Yeah.
Because like writing her camp experience, and like I feel like we touch on a lot of the stuff in our show.
Right.
So I feel like we might really be onto something.
I like our show. I'd watch our show.
Yeah. Well, so those are all the books that I read, and I'm currently reading. I'm actually a good chunk into Wizard's First Rule. I had to put that on the back burner because I got Not That Kind of Girl, because like that was my Kindle book.
Right.
But I still read a huge chunk of it, and it's awesome. Like it's a really cool fantasy adventure story, and the characters are really great. It's a really cool fantasy book, because I mean I've read a lot of fantasy, but like some fantasy is very predictable and like.
Right.
But this is very good. It seems very unique, and I'm excited to continue reading them. And then I just picked up again. Like I feel like I think the San Bernardino, it skews older.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
It's easy. Again, I expected when like a new like popular book would come out, I would have to like I'd either have to get right on the ball or I'd wait for a long time. But Nick Hornby came out with a new book this month. It's called Funny Girl, and I looked it up on the library, and it said 0 holds. So I'm like, ooh yeah, click.
You got it.
And I got it. It's sitting there, and I've already started reading it. It's about a girl who like lives in Newcastle, which is, I guess for people in London, Newcastle is considered the country.
Yeah, I get that.
So she wants to move to London to be a comedian, and her family's like, no, live here and get married, and because she's like a pretty girl, so they're like, you get to be a beauty queen and have kids, and she wants to be a comedian. And
I can't wait to read it.
It's really good so far.
I love Nick Hornby.
I know you've read way more Nick Hornby books than I have.
I think I've read all of his. I don't know. There might be one or two that I've
Have you read Fever Pitch? Because that's like his autobiography.
I have not read that one, so there's one. I've seen the movie adaptations, though, of which there are 2. But I've not read that one, no. So there's that, maybe one other or something, but I've read most of what he's written.
Yeah.
So, cool.
So that's really good.
Well, I finished The Great Brain is Back. We talked about that. And I mostly read magazines on vacation. That's kind of my speed, so I didn't finish anything. And I didn't read much, so more on that later. That's how it goes.
But you're currently reading
I'm currently reading Enchanted Castle, but the thing is I bring it with me, and then on the plane, for instance, when I pull out reading material, I've got a kid next to me that our kids are angels, but you have to keep them engaged or else 5 hours is a long flight. So if they ask a question every couple of minutes, then I'm it's harder to read through a novel as opposed to I'm reading an article on Entertainment Weekly that I can lean over and the latest information about TV shows to watch will wait for a second. So it's more vacation speed. So I don't read a lot of books. So there you go.
Cool.
That's about that.
All right. Anything here?
Music. Well, yeah. In a Lonely Places everywhere now. on CD, obviously, iTunes, Amazon, everywhere.
It's a really good album.
It's a great album, so you should check it out, pawboxmusic.com. Interesting thing, though, on a side note on music. So CD Baby sent me a thing about CDs being overstocked.
Yeah.
Because what happens is you send them, they take a certain number of CDs, they sell them, they rip them for you so they can sell digitally, but they also sell physical copies. But after a while, if you have like excess stock, they either will recycle them or they'll send them back to you.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, so the Anlin ones they've had for a long time. They
figure that was what 2000.
2005 was the first album, and then 2010.
So those
was the
have
second.
been in the CD Baby warehouse for like 10 years.
So they've sold quite a few of them, but they had a couple extras, and so they keep one forever just in case. But they go down to one after a while. So I was like, well, I have a lot still of the first one, but that second album we only printed 300.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, I'll see how much it is. Guess how much it was to ship them back to me? A penny.
Oh, wow.
I know. I was like,
how does that work?
I don't know, but I paid a penny. Literally, I did a whole credit card transaction to pay a penny.
That's worth it.
So, for a penny, I might as well have them send it back to me, Because when they did the Our Ladies ones, I still have probably 800 of those.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you guys can just get rid of those. That's cool. But for those, that's a small enough number. I thought it was worth it. And for a penny, I would have done the Our Ladies for a penny, too, if I'd known that. I don't know if it was like a glitch or if they're going to come later and go, oh, yeah, you didn't pay enough for this. Because they're sending me 8 CDs, and I know a penny does not cover that shipping. So I don't know.
Maybe it's just a courtesy.
Could be, because we're like long-term customers or whatever.
Because we've been using CD Baby since that's when they just started.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Now we were there. That was when they like the first album, they hadn't even started their digital.
Right, it was just a physical
program, and then digital started right
after.
after.
The CD Baby.
Yeah. So we've been there for a long time.
All right, you should start telling me about this. I gotta just.
Okay.
So start telling me about this.
All right. Well, DVD. Oh, new movies. So Friday before Phil got back, Benson, Derek, and I went to the New Art to see The Big Lebowski at midnight, and it was cool. It was like I've seen it a couple other times on the big screen, not in its original run. I did not watch it until it came out on video. So the first time I watched it was because did you see it in theaters?
I did not. No.
Because it came out in summer of '98.
Yeah, and I think
it came out. The video release it had just because when we watched it, was that the first time you had seen it? The time that when
I can't remember exactly if I saw it right, but it was around that time.
I remember it was October of 1998 because my brother was visiting because he came up for Not Scary Farm, and then I picked him up, and then he came and spent the weekend with us, and we watched, because I remember we watched Big Lebowski, and Paul had got that giant sheet of Pizookie from the cafeteria, and we all got really sick from eating, because it was seriously like a giant industrial cookie sheet of Pizookie.
But we watched Lebowski 30 times.
And then after that, it was just nonstop.
Enough so that I, in my slightly post-adolescent brain, was confused, and I went home and said, Mom and Dad, you guys would enjoy this movie. Watch this with us. And they're like, what are we watching?
My gosh.
No, it's funny. I mean,
it has the most F words ever.
I know. Watching it, I'm like, oh, this was probably a bad idea. But, they were cool.
Yeah.
But still,
it was cool watching it on the big screen with an audience that was really into it. And
that's cool.
And then beforehand, Derek took us to Cafe 50s, which is across the street, and they have 50 different kinds of milkshakes and malts. And like I said, they give you, so you get the milkshake, which is in the old school milkshake glass, and you get the tin. And most places the tin's got a little bit in it. So I just thought and I seriously wasn't even looking, and I poured it in. It overflowed you get a whole other. You get a ton, nice. And I had a buffalo burger, and it's a cool. It's not like one of the kitschy 50s catch. It's it's kind of kitschy, but they also their stuff on the walls is really cool.
Huh.
because like because it's in Hollywood, they have like a lot of really like cool vintage movie stuff and like lots of other.
Huh.
It just seems a little bit more genuine than some of the other places.
That's cool.
And it was really cool, and we had a good fun time. And
So when you watched the movie, was everyone quoting it out loud? Or?
well, no, because the guy got up front and he said, "Look, we all love this movie," and he's like, "Is there anybody new here?" And like there was a few people, and he's like, "Come on, let's try and keep it cool, everybody." And everyone was
cool.
But it was fun, you know.
That's good, because that would be definitely one that would be hard not to have everyone quoting.
I mean, there was times, you know, like I think I heard quite a few people quoting like during the Jesus scene, like just from like Dios mío, man.
Dios mío, man.
Like, you know, I'll pull the trigger
Till it goes click.
yeah, like just all that. That was probably the most. And then like, you see what happens, Larry?
You see what happens?
Yeah. So there was a few times.
It's kind of hard to resist.
And it was funny because I heard somebody like people were even doing like the TV edit quotes like like they peed on your valued rug. So somebody said your valued rug, dude.
And
then you find a stranger in the Alps. So some people even I heard some people doing that.
That's cool.
And so it was fun. But no new movies. But I put that because it was a big screen event.
That counts.
And it was a lot of fun. New Art's been doing like crazy midnights. So like they've been doing a bunch of anniversary screenings. So Derek was saying there's this kid, like I guess he's like college age or like it's like and he's been doing like he went to one the weekend before. Derek went to they did Mortal Kombat.
Really?
They're doing Clueless.
Nice.
They had like previews. They were doing Hackers, bunch of stuff, and it's crazy. When I was like the 20-year anniversaries that are like Mortal Kombat is 20 years.
That's weird, right?
It's 95. Like Clueless is 20 years old. Like
I remember going to see Clueless. Clueless was the first movie I think that I went and saw with like a girl.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I went and like my friends were making fun of me because I was gonna go see they're like, we're gonna see a girl movie, and I'm like, whatever, I'm going with a girl. And then it turned out to be like really good. Like I really liked it, but they were like teasing me. I'm like, it was like kind of in that transition stage where I'm like, you guys realize I'm going with a girl to the movie.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of what you're gonna go see a chick flick. I'm like, yeah,
with a girl.
With a girl, it's cool, man. so anyway,
that's cool.
That was also like probably my first exposure to ska, I want to say, or very early on.
Because that was in like Mighty Mighty Boss Tones.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, that's cool. That's
nice.
Different. Anyway,
I feel like that's our like generation defining movie.
Oh yeah, I mean the slang from that, and whatever, and
just like the general feel of it.
Yeah,
was very. Because there's like that and Dazed and Confused and things like that. Like when you think about like defining movies,
yeah,
I feel like that's right there. Also, Mallrats came out in 1985. That means Mallrats is 20 years old. And I remember, and the crazy thing is, Derek and I were just talking about like we were both at the 10-year Mallrats screening, and then I'm like, that was 10 years ago.
10 years ago from
so
there.
That's like. Because like 10 years ago, that was like serious. That was like a month after I got back from China, and I went to the 10-year
crazy
Mallrats screening.
You doing a 20-year?
I don't know.
That'd be cool.
But
I'd go to a 20-year reunion of that. That'd be fun.
I just remember Jason Lee got mobbed, and I had to help. Like it was the first time I got used as like a human shield, because like I got to talk to him. I talked to him, and I remember it was really cool. Like, because I was talking to Kevin, and then like he's like, "Oh, have you ever met Jason and Ethan?" And I'm like, "You mean Jason?" And they had just started doing My Name Is Earl. Like it hadn't even aired yet.
Right.
And like Ethan Suplee had lost all that weight, so that was what I thought. I'm like, "How did you do that?" He's like, "Diet and exercise." And like, but then like. Jason Lee just started getting completely mobbed, and and I just remember he's like, can you help me out here, bro?" And like, and I just kind of like, everybody move. So I helped get him out of the theater.
That's cool,
and I thought it was fun.
Well, it's been I mean, again, not to like sound like an old guy, but it's weird thinking of like how old stuff is. Like,
Yeah.
Like if you think about this, we're like movies that came out in the 90s to us are the same as like when we were kids, movies that came out in the 60s.
Yep.
That's weird.
Yep.
That's how long ago. That's the distance we
Well,
got there.
the oldie stations are playing 80s and 90s.
Yeah. It's weird, right? Oh man. All right.
And it makes sense because if they're playing 50s in the 80s, that makes sense, and 50s and 60s
Yeah.
in the 80s, like on the
It's
oldie
the stuff
stations.
that we listened to when we were kids.
Yep.
So it's weird. Although I like to listen to the 50s stuff when I was a kid too. So.
Yep.
But anyway.
Because at first, when I started hearing like Nirvana and stuff on classic rock, I'm like, that's not right. And then I'm like, wait a minute, yeah.
Yeah, it kind of
Yeah.
is. Kind of weird, but it kind of is.
So,
Speaking of that,
we are aging.
SNL is doing their 40th anniversary.
That's nuts.
I remember.
I remember like 25, like that was the big
deal in
one.
college, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
This is the old man podcast.
but we got on the DVD on demand corner, I've been watching a crazy amount of WWE Network.
Yeah.
I've been watching just a lot of random stuff, and then they just had their latest NXT special. And again, I know I talk about Kevin Owens / Kevin Steen all the time, but it's just so cool because he main evented this in the span of 2 months. He went from making his debut in NXT to he main evented, and he, spoiler alert if anybody hasn't watched it yet, but you should watch it if you're interested. He won the NXT championship, and in like his epic battle against Sami Zayn, who used to be El Generico, and they wrestled for like 10 years in the Indies. They're both from Montreal, Canada, and they like toured the world together. And so, of course, they're going to put on an amazing match because you figure they have wrestled each other like hundreds of times.
Right.
So I just think it's so cool that WWE embraced that and is like, yeah, we're going to put you guys in the main event.
Right.
And also it's cool that a year ago it was still heavily rumored that Kevin Steen was going to sign with WWE, but it was like still kind of, he wasn't saying whether or not he was yet.
Right.
And so, but he was clearly training for something because he's always been a big guy, but he was like, you could tell he lost like 50 pounds. And I remember he did like a podcast, like a live podcast, and I was sitting in the front row and I asked him, I'm like, what's your secret? And he's like, I walk a lot, I train a lot, and I drink a lot of this stuff. And he held up like a bottle of water. He's like, and no more cake and ice cream. And he's such a cool guy. And he's like, he loves the business, and he's got like, I don't know, this doesn't make him like a good person, but like he's got a family and he always talks about him, and his ring name is a tribute to his son. Because like they always make you change your name when you go into WWE. So his real name is Kevin Steen, and that's what he wrestled as for years and years. So when he goes to WWE, but he changed his name to Kevin Owens, and his son's name is Owen.
Oh,
so it's like a tribute to his son. And I just think that's cool. And he loves zoos. And he like
that's right.
And that was like I got to talk, like that's how I'm like, ooh, I can talk to him about zoos, and like
you're in.
And so it's just crazy to me that a year ago I was talking to him about zoos, and like, but he had some awesome, I watched him wrestle 3 times. He wrestled at 3 of the shows I went to that year. And so I was talking to him about that. And now, I mean, there's rumors that they might do an NXT match at WrestleMania. Ooh. So I wouldn't be surprised if they would be dumb and not to have him and Sami Zayn be that match. And that would just be nuts. If like exactly a year I'm watching him wrestle at WrestleMania. But at the very least, I'm super excited. I hope he'll be doing, because like we're going to WWE Access and they always have an NXT section. So it'll be cool. Like I'm excited to be able to go up to him and be like, I was a year ago watching you, and now here we are, and you made it. And I don't know, it's just it's cool to hear those, because it's truly like, especially for us, because we're indie DIY guys, and he in wrestling, just the equivalent of that is like working your way up, and he
Right.
did it. Like he came up from, just a kid working
Cool.
shows for free, not getting paid, driving all around, and now he's living his dream.
That's awesome.
It's just cool. So that's what I've been watching.
All right.
And then Parenthood, I already said
The big finale.
I cried so much. The other cool thing, they had like are you familiar with Iron and Wine at all?
The band.
Yeah.
Yes.
They did. So the main song for the show is Bob Dylan's Forever Young.
Okay.
It's in the opening credits. And so the closing finale montage, because Crosby, Dak Shepard's character, he has a music studio.
Okay.
So that's another thing that you would
connection
appreciate about
there.
the show, because he's a music producer, and so they had their own studio, and so it starts with him in the studio because he basically takes over the studio just for himself because Adam doesn't want to do it anymore, but he keeps it going. Him and Amber,
Okay.
the Mae Whitman's character, and so it's them in the studio, and Iron and Wine is doing a cover of
the
Forever
song.
Young. So
That's
it's
cool.
like really awesome, and so and then it's just like, oh, cried. It was really good, and I loved it. And then I'm finally caught up on SNL.
Yeah.
And getting ready for the big 40th
40th one. You're gonna watch it live
tomorrow night. Well, I don't have live television.
You never waited.
I don't even have rabbit ears,
Huh.
so I'll watch it on Sunday.
Yeah, that's my.
I don't want
preferred
to. I
way.
usually don't stay up that late, anyways, these days.
Yeah, and then you can skip around.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So I'll be watching it on. But I'm excited. But you haven't watched the J.K. Simmons episode
I
yet?
have
you?
not watched that one yet.
So I'm caught up, and J.K. Simmons episode was good.
Really good.
It was funny. Leslie Jones
She's awesome.
she just gets funnier and funnier. She's so
I
funny.
really like the new cast. I feel like
Yeah.
it's really strong all around.
They're just clicking really huge. I really like them. So that's funny. And then Agent Carter, I told you the latest episode, it had the Howling Commandos in it, and it was awesome.
I'm
And-
only I think I've watched 3, so
Yeah.
I'm like a little behind still.
It's just been
It's really good
really
so far.
awesome.
but Janelle's caught up with me now, so now we're gonna watch it through.
And Peggy Carter is just such a great character.
Yeah.
She's just super strong, kicking butt, and I really like it. And then I'm one episode behind on Bob's Burgers,
I am
but
caught up. I went back and
Okay.
checked, and I'm current. on
so
Bob's
because I haven't watched the latest episode,
Yeah.
but it's
course,
been
it's amazing.
awesome. It's an amazing show. Parks and Recreation.
See, I've not even
Oh.
touched that.
This season is just like it's like a total. They're just doing whatever they want to do. Like it's a total victory lap season.
That's cool.
And it's amazing. Like the moment I think like Aubrey Plaza and Chris Pratt can't get any better, they just
They
take
just
it to
do.
a whole other level.
Chris Pratt's like
Chris Pratt's the funniest person in the world right now.
yeah.
I feel like
It's funny, like if you go back and look at season 1, I don't think they thought he was gonna be.
I don't think they realized
such
what they
a big
had.
part. Yeah, like
And I think you can tell they realize like because they had there was the other dude, like
Yeah.
that other dude, and he was funny.
yeah.
But I think they realized like,
This guy.
we have a secret talent because he hadn't really done anything.
hardly, yeah.
I think you could tell they started realizing what they had,
Yeah.
and so he just got more and more because at first he was just kind of a throwaway character,
Right.
Like
yeah.
he's just
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he was just.
he was
supposed
just
to be like
Anne's dumb
Yeah.
boyfriend that she was getting ready to move on
two or
from.
3 episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah, would have been done.
And then like I think the moment when he's like living in the hole and like just,
yeah,
and like his music, like the first time,
yeah.
and I'm just like, this guy like is the funniest thing on the show, and that because they also I don't think they realized what they had in Nick Offerman either.
No, yeah,
Like-
they definitely.
Like,
Put him
well, a
more
lot
in
of
the
the other
forefront.
characters too, like all of them. I don't think they realized what they had,
Yeah,
and they were really focusing on Leslie, which is fine. But I don't think they
but their
realized.
ensemble
they're-
is
they're-
spectacular, though.
You could tell they slowly realized, like, oh, we have like one of the most amazing ensemble casts.
Well,
And,
I
like,
think they were gonna, they were modeling it off of The Office, and although The Office has did a good job of like featuring them, they definitely had like their background players.
Yeah.
And I think they were going for that more, but they brought him more to the forefront, much more than the
And
Office
it's
ever did.
been all for the better of the
Yeah,
show because
yeah.
it's just now we're
so
at this
many Aziz,
so good.
like
and like Aziz is amazing and
Yeah.
Retta
yeah,
like and
Jerry.
okay,
Flash.
so the best thing happens because like it's what's her face's wedding and Retta's character, which her
I can't remember her name is.
so
but yeah.
there she gets married, and so at the wedding, as kind of a peace offering, like so what's Jerry's real name?
I think it's Gary.
It's Gary.
It's Gary.
So they're all sitting at a table, and April's like, Gary, your name's wrong. So there's an aside with Jerry, and he's like, they're finally calling me Gary. He's like, they put my name as Gary, and then he looks over and she like winks at him, like she did it on purpose.
That's
It's like
cool.
a piece. So now he's finally getting Gary, and the Christy Brinkley came, and it's just so funny, like their whole like
Yeah.
it's just so funny.
Oh, it's a great show. I mean, we need to catch up on that for sure.
It's great. And then this season, there's all the like they really make fun of Facebook with the Facebook. I forgot what they call it on the show, but the product. It's really funny.
Okay.
It's like I forgot what it's called, but it's awesome. And then I've been watching. I started watching the Mindy Project.
Yeah.
I'm watching a few episodes. It's really good.
It's good, right?
It's funny.
And I'm telling you, like, it just gets better from there.
And then because Josh had mentioned it like a couple weeks ago, I went back and I didn't realize this, but Dead Like Me is on Hulu Plus.
Oh,
it's
okay.
not on Netflix or Amazon, and because it's been on and off Netflix, and currently it's off. But I've been watching all of Dead Like Me. That show is so good. You watch Wonder Falls, right?
I watch Wonder Falls.
So if you watch Wonder Falls,
And I think we borrowed Dead Like Me from Josh Mitchell. I think we said this before and
Yeah.
watched maybe season 1,
it's so good.
something like that.
Mandy Patinkin, holy crap, and just everybody in the show, and it's such an awesome show. I love it, and I'm almost done with it because each season's like 15 episodes,
Right.
and there's only 2 seasons, and so I'm almost done with season 2, and then that's it. So I'm gonna be sad again. It's over, and then I might afterwards, just to placate myself, just to get more. I might watch Pushing Daisies again.
That's the same. What's his name?
It's Brian Fuller.
Brian Fuller.
I've been hearing a lot of really good things about Hannibal.
He did that?
Yeah. Remember, we were at the panel
That's
for
right.
it
That's right.
because it was Mockingbird Lane and Hannibal.
Which I'm still sad that Mockingbird Lane didn't.
Yeah, because
work
I
out.
really loved that. Did you watch the pilot? It's really funny.
Matthew did. I don't think I ever did.
Eddie Izzard, man. His
Yeah.
grandpa, that would have
Yeah.
been like,
Oh, it's a shame.
yeah. I'm sure Jerry O'Connell,
Yeah.
super bummed.
Yeah. He was just in. Oh, he was in that Space Station 76 that we watched. You gotta watch that.
Yeah, I
movie.
guess I gotta watch
You
that.
gotta watch that movie.
Okay.
It's so bizarre and awesome.
And then Lucha Underground is awesome. Another one of our big like indie stars, Willie Mack, just signed on. They've officially signed on Alberto Del Rio. So like it just keeps getting bigger and bigger, and it's just cool watching all these wrestlers from the SoCal Indies that are getting national TV exposure, and that was exciting.
That's
And
cool.
it's just nice to have another wrestling show that it's very different, but it's very fun. But the big guy, like the guy that's like taking it by storm, is Brian Cage, who, as Benson and I have continued to wonder like why he didn't, because he got let go from WWE developmental, and
What happened
he's
there?
nobody really, I think they just, I don't know, they just didn't. But he's like the most ripped dude I've ever seen in my life. They and then he's a very talented wrestler, and it's always funny to me. Like I went back and listened to like the MBWS where Benson got in his face. Like,
And now
pretty
he's on
funny.
TV.
Yeah,
Did you ever watch Mucha Lucha? The cartoon?
I did.
I used to like that show.
And there was a video game
Yeah.
that was really cool.
I think I have like their movie on DVD.
Yeah. I also just remember there was like a flash thing on their website where you could create your own
Luchador.
Lucha guy.
Yeah.
Because like I was going through some posts, and there was a post on BrendoMan.com where we all created ours. And I just thought, Henry's was funny because he called it Das Hanzo. Mine was El Brendo.
Of course, El Brendo.
And then, as I talked about, Storage Wars. I'm watching a crazy amount of Storage Wars. I think I finally like the new guy, Renee.
Yeah.
For a while, I didn't like him. I've always liked Ivy, because he used to be like an MMA fighter, and he's just really funny. And he's from Palmdale, and I think that's crazy that he drives from Palmdale to all these auctions and stuff. Like, that's nuts.
Yeah.
Renee's from San Diego, so I got to respect that. But for a while, he just seemed kind of annoying. But I feel like
he's growing on you.
He has, and I don't like that the other people make fun of him so much. Like, Daryl and Brandon are always calling him fat, and I'm like, what are you guys doing?
Yeah, fellow fat.
They're calling him Kool-Aid Man and stuff, and I'm like, fat on fat crime is like not cool. Because like, you guys need to take a look at yourself. Like Hester was calling him fat, and I'm like, Hester, you're fat, dude.
Yeah,
like, come on
guys.
Like, Jared even is a little pudgy, and Jared's making fun of him. And so now I think Renee's turned around on me.
You said you have or have not gotten to the Kevin Smith episode of Mini Project?
Haven't.
Oh, you got to get to it. It's so good. There's two of them, but.
And then in season 6, Mary from Texas moves to Orange County. Although I'm hoping that Barry comes back, because I don't think so. I watched all 8 episodes of Buried Treasure, and then I went back online. They aired in spring of 2014, and it's only 8 episodes, and there is no mention.
So maybe he'll come back.
I hope. He says he's retired.
Yeah, but he says all kinds of stuff. He's crazy.
But Buried Treasure is amazing because he goes all over the country, and he basically like. It sounds, if this is a real thing, I want this job, because basically what he does is he's like a broker. Like, he brokers deals. So like, he'll go to some rich dude that either is trying to sell his things or is trying to get something. Then he'll he'll find a buyer or a seller of that thing, and he goes out to whatever. So usually that means he'll go to one place, and then he's got to go to another place, like, to find the buyer or the seller. So basically he acts as a go-between between these people, and then he gets a commission. And usually he takes a commission in some other item that one of these guys has, but sometimes it's straight up money. But it's half travel show. It's like, imagine like Idiot Abroad kind of,
okay,
but with like Barry and Tony, like the big black dude that like, it's mostly them. Like, he has a couple episodes where he has a different sidekick, but then they always pick up a local along the way. And like, so for instance, the second episode is probably my favorite one. They pick up this Amish dude, but he's like ex-Amish, but he's still sort of Amish, like
Mennonite, maybe something.
He lives in Amish country, but he's just not officially Amish because he thinks it's too restrictive. But he still drives a buggy and he still operates a farm.
So he's just like fully
Yeah.
He's not Amish.
But he kind of is Amish.
But Amish, like that's, then there's Amish.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, anyway, so Barry like buys him a suit and like he gets his hair cut, and it's just really funny, like him and Tony and this Amish dude like going around. And it's real. I like the show a lot.
Cool.
It's only 8 episodes.
All right. Well, mine copy a lot of yours, but we're a lot further along in the mini project. And again, I just feel like it just keeps getting better. We're like mostly through season 3. We have a couple more in season 3, and it's super good. Caught up on Bob's Burgers, which is again like definitely the best animation. Well, I didn't put this on there, but I watched. I caught up on Bob's Burgers the other night. And then I was like, I want to watch like one more thing. And so like it has the suggestion on a Hulu Plus or whatever, and it had The Simpsons. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to watch like the latest Simpsons.
Did you watch
episode.
like a current Simpsons
I watched
episode?
the most recent episode.
Ew.
And I did it like back to back with watching Bob's Burgers, where I was like dying, and it's just genius. And I watched it, and it was kind of painful.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to like be mean and negative and stuff.
They're hard. It was
kind of hard to watch. And I'm like, it's been a long time since I've watched a current episode. Like, I love those early seasons and stuff, but I was like,
every once in a while I'll give it a shot, and I'm just like,
I mean, it was just, I don't know. I felt like I'd seen every joke at some point
Yeah.
before, and it just was, I don't know. It was bad. It was kind of bad. And especially like having just watched a bunch of Bob's Burgers and then going from that to that. I shouldn't have done it in that order. So anyway. And then Agent Carter, like I said, we're catching up on that. So super good. That's it.
all right.
Didn't have a whole lot of like TV watching time.
And then Netflix, I've been watching Bob's Burgers, and I am like a few episodes in on season 3.
Comedy Bang Bang.
Like I don't think it's the last episode I watched. I'm not sure what the last episode I watched was, but I watched the episode where they show the series finale.
Yeah. That's so good. It's like the stuff that they do with that show is just genius.
This is nuts.
It gets this season is so
And
good.
the sketches and everything.
And I feel like it's getting weirder and weirder as
it
time
gets
goes
so
on.
weird.
Which I love.
Like, it's so like, because you'd be like, this is they're doing normal talk shows, and then they'll just do something like just completely.
Did you
off
see the one? I
rails.
think it might have been that where they do the finale where he does the little clip thing of all the times he's asked people, how do you balance work and your free time or whatever?
Working family.
Working family. I said, how do you balance? Something I've always wanted to ask you is, how do you balance work and your family? Yeah, it's so good. I've actually been watching my background thing is they got Pawn Stars. It's the same kind of thing, like you said,
it's
it's
a
like the
weird
best
mix.
of kind of thing or something. But I've just been watching through, even though a lot of them are repeat. Some I've hit a couple that I haven't seen,
but
but
who cares?
it doesn't matter. And it's one of those things like if I'm doing the dishes, I'll have it on in the background or whatever.
Do you ever think Rick's going to be able to get that museum guy to give him a price?
No.
He always tries, though.
Which
is so funny.
Yeah, I don't think so.
What if one of these days,
his big old hat.
What if one of these days,
has like hinted like this might be a very desirable collectible?
I just think just to throw him off one day, he should be like 1,500.
Yeah. What? And then the other night I watched The Secret Policeman's Ball, which is like the 2012 one. It's the 40th anniversary of Amnesty International. I've watched some of the old ones, like from the 80s and stuff, which are really. I actually have a couple of those on VHS.
Wow.
But it's great. I mean, it's just one of those like every comedian you can think of comes on it, and it's really funny and stuff. It's on Netflix, so I recommend it. There's some really, really good stuff in it. Some funny things. It's like 2 years old, so it's like fairly current. And then this is exciting because
all the Star Trek stuff is back.
For a while I was watching through all the Star Trek. I watched the whole original series, the whole animated series. Then I watched the first 2 movies, and then they took all the Star Trek stuff off.
So you're going to go through all the movies, and then after you watch 5, you're going to start watching Next Generation?
No, 6.
Oh, 6.
6. Then I'm going to do Next Generation.
Well, they started. Wait.
I know it overlaps. I know.
But they started filming Next Generation when 5 was filming.
I realize.
Okay.
But I'm going to watch the.
So you're going to do like
I'm going to do the
continuity,
right? So then I'm going to do after the movies. I'm going to do the Next Generation, and then I'm going to do Generations, and then the Next Generation movies.
Gotcha.
And then I think I'm going to do like the Deep Space Nine.
Deep Space Nine.
I'm going to try it.
There's some really I actually because Curtis was watching all of them, and I started watching Deep Space Nine with him, and they're really good. And there's one episode in particular. Like if you heard about the episode where they go back to the original Enterprise and they actually have footage. It's a Tribbles episode.
Okay.
And they actually they run into like Captain Kirk and everything, and they show footage, and it's like crazy.
That's cool.
And like they go back to the.
I don't know. I'll give it a try because I mean it would be fun to watch it all.
Yeah.
But if I might peter out in that point, we'll see.
Yeah.
I know I'll make it through Next Generation.
I guess I should start watching Next Gen again because I was on like season 2 when I stopped.
Yeah. Well, anyway, it's all back up there now, so that's cool.
So you watched 3.
So I watched Star Trek 3.
Which might be the weirdest movie.
It's a very weird one. It's funny because it's the first Star Trek movie I remember seeing in the theater.
Yeah.
I remember seeing it with my dad and mom.
The only one I ever saw in theater was 6.
And
my dad watched all of them in the theater, and I think I don't think he thought that I would be into it. And then 6 I watched, and I love 6.
You didn't see 4 in the theater?
Nope.
I know we saw 3, and then 4 was like, I think just my dad and I might have seen 3, and then everyone went to see 4 because that's the way
4 was
one.
like awesome.
Janelle went and saw 4. Like that's the one that everyone saw.
Yeah.
But 3 is weird. Like I remember being freaked out about it as a kid with for whatever reason, I had this very vivid memory of like just his coffin being on the planet, and then I don't know if you remember, but when they go down there, it's exploded open, and all the microbes have grown up. I just that was like a very haunting image. Watching it now, it looks like a bunch of little rubber things that are going. Ah!
Yeah,
but I remember being freaked out by that. But other than that, it's very much like it's not a movie unto itself. It feels like a whole entire movie of them saying, all right, we're sorry we killed off Spock. Here's how we're going to explain in the continuity that he's back. Okay, let's get back to doing the movies again. It does not feel like a standalone movie. It's weird.
Yeah.
Because like even from the beginning of the movie, I'm like, how are they going to stretch this premise into a whole movie? And it's a lot of like talking about, okay, we should definitely go down there and get Spock back. They know Spock's alive like at the beginning of the movie. Yep. It's not like they're trying to figure out the whole time where he is. They know they shot him down to a planet that regenerates life, and they see his signal on there, and it's most of them arguing about can they go back to the planet, and the main guy says, no, it's not safe or whatever, and then they like have to steal a thing. That's it, though. Like, the whole thing, it's kind of like you know the ending from the beginning. I don't know. It's a weird movie.
I think it's funny that I think they intended to kill off Spock.
I think they did.
And then at some point they were like, we probably shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, wait. Well, I think partly because I think Wrath of Khan was a lot better accepted, obviously.
Yeah, Wrath of Khan was like huge.
And so then they're like, wait, guys, like there's a lot of money here. Let's not
keep this train going. But Star Trek isn't Star Trek without Spock.
Yeah, no one's gonna want to come see not Spock. Although he's barely in it.
Yeah.
But it is directed by Leonard Nimoy.
But then going forward, he's an integral part. So. And 4 is awesome.
Yeah, that's the whale one. In fact,
and they go to like the
80s, and it's totally like that fish out of water thing. Yeah. That's
computer.
Janelle said from the very beginning when I said I was going to watch these, she's like, when you get to Star Trek 4, I will watch that with you.
Plus, it's got the lady from Seventh Heaven.
So it's got
Kirstie Alley's in 2.
She was in 2.
That's right.
And then they had some random girl take over for her role. Who's in 3 and 4?
There was somebody.
Kim Cattrall takes over in 5.
That's right.
But they changed her name, even though it's technically the same character, because she didn't want to. Her one thing in her contract. I've read a lot of Wikipedia about it, but her thing in her contract was she didn't want to step into a role that 2 other women had already done.
Yeah.
So she made them change the name, but it's the same character basically. Yeah. So yeah, I did do a lot of IMDbing and Wikipediaing about it. Because I was like, what is the deal with this? After I watched it, I'm like, this movie it's just weird. It's a weird watch.
Yeah.
Like if you were just to randomly pick, I'm going to watch a Star Trek movie and you watch it, it's strange. It's fun. I mean, I enjoyed it. I definitely wanted to see it for the continuity of the movies, but
5 is bad.
I remember really hating it. I don't think I've ever watched it all the way through. So
because that was Shatner taking over.
Yeah. I know I've watched more of it with the riff tracks over it than I've seen with the actual movie. I don't think I actually watched it all the way through without the riff tracks on it.
Speaking of riff tracks, you might want to know about this. I don't know if you noticed that the MST3K isn't on Netflix anymore.
I did see that.
But it's on. Shout Factory has their own on-demand site now. It's free.
Oh, really?
And there's like 30 MST3Ks on there.
Huh.
There's also the show Fridays.
Oh, is that like
it's the SNL like wannabe like in Man on the Moon like
right.
Randy caught that was on Friday.
Michael Richards was on it. Yeah.
So
interesting.
That's on there. A bunch of other stuff.
It's free.
Yes.
Oh, that's cool.
Yes.
Let's check that out.
So everyone, and I've actually, if you have a Chromecast, you can cast it to your TV.
Oh, okay.
And I've been doing that.
That's cool.
And they have a ton of movies too.
Nice.
And they also have the Weird Al show, like the one from the 80s.
Really?
Yeah.
I've seen like some episodes, like people that friends of mine that.
It's awesome. I love the fact that because some people like don't realize this because like he started doing some of the stuff. He had like a Nerdist show for like a segment for a while where like, but he's been doing that thing where he like does the celebrity interviews. That goes all the way back to the Weird Al show. Huh. Like that's where he started doing that stuff. And like
I love Weird Al.
Yeah, it's awesome because I think that they Shout Factory finally released that on DVD, but before that, like that was I've
only seen bits of it like recorded on VHS from friends and stuff. Side note, he won the Grammy, so that's pretty awesome.
Because like even Patton Oswalt was like Give it to Weird
Give
Al.
it to
Like,
him,
come
guys.
on. Plus, because his last album was amazing.
Yeah.
Like,
That's Word Crimes.
yeah.
Right?
Word Crimes.
Yeah. Good stuff. So that's all. That's all. Again, I didn't have a lot of like TV watching. Although the other thing I did watch on regular TV was Stacy at the Walt Disney World.
I'm so glad that she's still there, and they recorded
new. We got some new
Stacey
footage of her.
content.
She's on the. For those that don't know, she hosts the Walt Disney World like in your hotel room. They have like the footage,
and it like goes through like
tells
everything.
you, like, what to do in the parks and stuff. We were obsessed with watching it when we went, and
it's the only thing we had on the TV
like all the time. We watch on loop because it's like a half an hour maybe.
We must have watched that like seriously like
we could quote like large chunks of it. Yummy, yummy, yummy.
Say hi to the Yeti for me.
So so she was still on. That's it. That's Netflix corner.
All right.
What do we got? Video
games. So. Woo. I don't know if we've talked about the Club Nintendo closing.
I think we might have touched upon it briefly, but definitely not since
Club Nintendo is closing. They put out all the rewards. There is tons and tons of games. You're still planning out your
I've already got
redemption strategy.
And I've got a bunch more.
Because you have and you still haven't even redeemed all your codes.
Right. Well, I've entered all the codes, but I haven't done all the surveys yet.
Okay.
But I have entered all my codes at this point now. But the Club Nintendo site has been like totally.
So I got one game so far. I need to get some more coins so I can get another game. But I chose the Link's Awakening DX.
Nice, which is a great game
on 3DS because I never played it, and
that's the best version of it.
Yeah, so I'm excited for that, and because I was part of me, I think I was gonna get Link to the Past, but then I'm like, I've played that before. I mean, yes, it's like one of the best games, but I'll get that at some point.
Right.
Or because we don't even know what the games that are going to be available for premium rewards, if it's the same catalog or if there's going to be other games or what. We don't know yet.
We don't know.
What if it's like retail games? That'd be.
It could be.
Because like as a final last hurrah.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. But so I got that, and you've just been getting
a bunch. I haven't even touched most of them.
Well, plus you've got a bunch of stuff around for Christmas.
But see, this happens every year because I have birthday and Christmas back to back, so I get
you have this like glut of games. You haven't even opened your Hyrule Warriors.
Well, I opened it enough to get the code out of it, and that's it. I haven't even gotten to touch it yet.
Well, today, I mean, if you want to maximize your coins, you need to get that DLC.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. But anyway, so what did you get?
Well, I've been playing what? I've been playing Tomodachi Life because they're releasing new items every 2 weeks still. So I've been getting that, and also just it's easy to play when you don't have to be too invested. So I can play that while I'm watching Storage Wars. It's like the perfect.
Good. Yeah, I have that kind of. You have those background games.
Yeah. So I've been playing Tomodachi Life. I've been still playing Zelda Link Between Worlds. I'm almost done with the air dungeon.
Okay.
And
good game.
Yeah. And then one of the PSN games, the PS Plus games this month, it's called Transistor.
What's that?
And so it's the same people that made Bastion, and it's like it's really cool. It's like this top-down, like you fight things, but like this one, it's cool because you're like, it's like got all the cyber stuff, like cyberpunk kind of stuff, and you can like stop. It's like it's live, it's like real time, but then you can also do it turn-based, where you can, if you want to, and this makes it easier to do attacks, you can stop time and then plan out. You have enough, you can do like a turns, and you can like plan out your moves. Like you're like, I want to go here and attack this guy, and then go do this guy, then that guy. And you have a certain number of moves, so you can do it that way, and it for the combat. And then there's like puzzle elements to it, and it's got a cool story.
Nice.
And it's also like Bastion. There's like a narrator type guy that's talking the whole time, and it's kind of cool. And then I as we both did, but I got a Kappa's Trail.
Pretty fun,
from my Nintendo coins last month and started playing it. and it's a lot of fun. It's really weird,
It's really weird, but
but
it's cool.
it's a huge game. Like it's a lot of play value.
Yeah, because it's
And-
got the main story, but you have all the cool mini games and stuff.
Yeah, and then today Luke came over because you were doing
Yeah,
an in class thing with Audrey.
helped out in Audrey's class.
So he dropped Luke off, and we played like Super Smash Brothers for like an hour and 45 minutes, and then I think he got a little tired. He was like, I want to play something else, and I went through all the games I had, and he said, well, my mom and dad said I can't play Hyrule Warriors because it's too scary, but I think it'd be okay if I watched you play Hyrule Warriors. So I'm like, well, okay. And so I played the first level because he's like, we got to play Link. And like, I only have one level where Link's the player that because you can play Link on all levels, but there's certain players that do a lot better on other ones. So I played the first level, and he was like, now I think he's obsessed.
I don't know. I just told him because I hadn't seen much of it, and I didn't know. I knew it was like T, and I wanted to make sure it wasn't.
Well, there's
like,
some risque.
I heard it like might be a little more, not.
But this I made sure it was a part where there wasn't anything, because like one of the main characters is a lot of boo, there's a lot of cleavage, but this I made sure that
it's cool. I'm not like paranoid about it. I just my kids get nightmares about I mean they're young, so he's pretty like smart and a genius, but he is still a 4-year-old, so he gets freaked out.
But it was cool, and I found out some things in that game because he was observing, and I never there's rocks in the middle of the field. I didn't know you could blow them up and there would be treasure chests in there. But he's like, stop, blow up that rock, and I'm like, okay. And
because I'm telling you, you can see like when I play it with him, he solves a lot of the puzzles. Like he's really good at it.
Kid's a freaking genius, man.
Yeah.
And like he's playing Ocarina of Time on his own.
Yeah, he's almost done with the 3rd dungeon in Ocarina of Time. And I mean, again, I'll give him little tips here and there, or help. Oh, you got to go talk to Saria.
You got to read stuff,
right? Yeah, and I'll read the text for him. And sometimes, like if he doesn't know where to go next, I'll tell him oh, you got to go back to the Goron's place and talk to them. But he's playing it by himself. I mean, he has done all the stuff.
I was teaching him some stuff in Smash Brothers to the point where he won like half the matches.
When we did like the 8
For a while, I was letting him win every once in a while if I could tell he was getting a little frustrated.
Right.
But then after a while, I didn't have to let him win.
By the time Audrey and I came and joined you guys, and we all played,
he figured out how to do He had figured out how to do final smash attacks.
Yeah. He won I don't know. We played 10 rounds. He probably won 6 of them.
And we did a 8-player one, and he won the 8-player.
Yeah,
it was pretty
and again,
crazy.
He's 4. So.
Yeah.
The funny part is, so I was gone for about 2 hours. I dropped him off, went and helped out, and came back. And I came in, and you guys were like, "Oh, you're back already?" Like you guys didn't even know I was gone hardly.
Seriously.
So I figured that would be the case if you had video games and Uncle Brendo to hang out with.
It was fun because it made me feel cool because he would put down the controller and he's like, I really love this, and I'm like, all right, because I was like paranoid. I'm like, what if he gets bored? What if
it's funny, like they've been talking for a couple weeks now. Audrey first presented it to me.
Yeah, because we didn't talk about this on the show. Right before you left, I babysat the kids because you guys went to urgent care, right? Because you both were having you wanted to get your stuff taken care of before you went on vacation.
There, right?
So your kids.
And you wound up being with them for 4 hours or something, and they loved it. And so Audrey, a few days ago, she was like, "Daddy, when are you and Mommy gonna go away?" And I'm like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "When are you gonna go away for a long time?" And I'm like, what do you mean? On vacation? She's like, no, you and Mommy go away for a long time, and then Uncle Brendo comes and plays with us. And I'm like, oh, you want Uncle Brendo to babysit? She's like, yeah. When are you gonna do that? I'm like, all right, we'll figure that out. So tomorrow, I guess, for Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
That's if you're still up for that.
I am up for that.
Uncle Brendo's gonna play with the kids, so Janelle and I can go on a little Valentine's date. That's pretty cool. They're gonna be stoked on that. So anyway.
It was funny that Luke came in and the first thing he said was, "This place smells like a dog bone."
Because you got your crock pot cooking.
So it was like barbecue
chicken. Yeah, that was his interpretation. It smells like a dog bone in here. He's 4,
It's pretty funny.
So apparently your cooking smells like dog bone.
Well, I got a crock pot. I guess that's another.
Yeah, that's big news, right?
Been making a lot of. Well, it's just cool because I've been eating a lot of real food.
Yeah.
Like the first
And
thing I made
easy
was
to make.
and like it's seriously like put stuff in there, meat and veggies and whatever, and then leave it there, and then later
And eat
on it's like delicious.
Yeah.
And it's really easy to clean.
It's like a
And-
single guy's dream
Yeah.
cooking.
Because like seriously, and you can also, the best thing is you can buy like the cheaper pieces of meat that are normally like really tough,
Yeah.
and if you slow cook them,
It's good.
it's delicious.
Yep.
And so I've been eating a lot, because I stopped getting chicken breasts because they would always just be too dry when I cooked
Throw
it.
them in there. It's
And I
magical.
put it in there, and it's been good eating. And so that's been awesome. Oh, and then Clicker Heroes.
Of course.
I'm continuing to just really play a lot of that.
All right. So
And Street Pass.
A Street
course.
Pass. I did a lot of Street Pass in Florida.
You got a lot of tags.
Got a lot of tags.
From
lot of
like
puzzle
all over the
pieces.
place.
I added 2 new states. I'm only 3 states away from having them all.
Wow.
And then a bunch of regions elsewhere around
Some
the
random
world.
countries.
Got lots of puzzle pieces, tons of good stuff. So that was fun. Also, with me, I had Animal Crossing. That was like the game I alternated it with. But honestly, most of the time, I was just doing Street Pass.
Mm.
In my regular DS, I had Zuma's Revenge. That's like my fall asleep game right now. It's a puzzle game, kind of like Magnetica or like the
Yeah.
one. What's that weird one called again?
Tokyo Crash
Tokyo
Mobs.
Crash Mob. You know, that kind of gameplay where it's like the
Which, by the way, if you have Club Nintendo coins to spend, it's back up there.
yeah, I get it.
That's my number one suggestion
It's
to
so
anybody.
good.
It's so freaking weird.
Yeah, just for the
and
weird
fun,
factor alone.
but it's a
worth
good
it.
puzzle game.
Yeah.
It's the best 200 coins you'll ever spend in your life.
Seriously, you will not be disappointed.
I completely.
Just for that like weird video game thing that you do
yeah.
where you play through the videos, like
Yeah.
it's so weird. And then of course at home with Luke and Audrey, I've been playing Legend of Zelda: Twilight Princess, and finally, so Mark Bolton and the guys over at Comic Nerds Unite suggested this other podcast to. I think he posted it on my wall or
it's
our
called
wall.
Two Dudes and a Nest.
Two dudes and a nest is how they say it. But it's basically these guys that do.
They
each
week
do
a different Nintendo game.
NES game. And so I started listening to it.
And they have a cool Facebook page with like it's a big community.
Yeah, they have guest writers. They have articles about NES games and stuff. I've been thinking of maybe submitting some writing because they've been asking for people to do submissions and stuff.
But they did an episode about Adventure Link.
And well, their episode was actually on Swamp Thing.
Okay.
And they did like a crossover thing because there's a Swamp Thing comic.
Okay.
And so those guys went on their show to talk about the comic, and then they went on their show to talk about the video game.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyway.
Isn't the Swamp Thing video game based on the TV show, though?
It might be.
Because remember there was that TV show in the 90s?
Yeah. It probably was. But still, there's a connection there.
It's all based on a comic.
So anyway, I listened to that, and then I listened to their Legend of Zelda, or they did Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link episode. I listened to a couple others also. But for whatever reason, the Zelda 2 one, that was their most recent one. It very much resonated with me.
Yeah.
I started interacting with them on their Facebook.
Well, you gave because they were asking you what are your strategy, because I saw you swapping strategies.
Yeah, because I have a
there.
weird strategy that I think is kind of unique, and other people are like, oh, that's interesting. I might have to try that. I won't bore you guys with the details of it here, but it's kind of weird. If you want to know.
And now because of the virtual, you bought it on the virtual console.
Well, actually, I didn't.
Oh.
I got it as a when I got the ambassador games.
Okay.
I have had it on my 3DS.
But it has save states on it.
It's got save states on it,
which is a game changer.
So the
for those
part
old
that I've
Nintendo
always
games.
been stuck on, that I've never been able to get through, and remember early on in our show.
For those that aren't aware,
Josh,
you know how nowadays most games have a save system where you can save exactly where you are.
right?
And so the old Nintendo games did not have that. If they did have a save feature, it usually didn't bring you right to where you were.
Maybe kept whatever item you had earned or whatever.
But
it
with
brings you
save
to
states, I mean, it's exactly, you can hit a save state right before you do something crazy,
a tough jump,
go through a tough jump, and then you can go right back to that and just keep doing it until you get it right.
So it's made it so I'm going to be able to beat this game,
which
that
you've
I've
never been
able
before.
to beat before. So,
and you're almost done with it.
I'm almost done. I've started playing back through it, and I'm almost to the end. So anyway, but also those guys were really cool. I started writing back and forth with them, And it looks like I'm going to be doing a guest spot on their show at some point in the next couple of months.
Nice.
Because I'm like,
So
I basically like wrote them and was like, you guys, I'm like a huge Nintendo fan, and I do a podcast, and I like your podcast. Can I be on your podcast? And they were cool about it. So
yeah.
hopefully they won't like think I'm a weirdo or something. But they said I could do it.
See, it's funny. You're trying to get on that podcast. I'm trying to get on the Blaze podcast. We both have our
Or like
dream.
dream podcast.
I want to be on
Well, 'cause
another
these
2-hour
guys,
podcast.
I don't know like how big their listenership is, but I know it's pretty big.
They have a pretty
And they've
big-
gotten some pretty good, like when they did the Boy and His Blob, the video game from
Yeah.
NES, they had like the programmer guy who did a Boy and His Blob on their show.
It's awesome.
So they have some like legit guests.
Yeah.
So I'm just like another podcaster who likes video games, but they said the reason it'll be, I say, in the next few months is they said their schedule's pretty nuts with guests, but they can fit me in somewhere. So anyway, they were kind, and so I will keep you guys posted on that.
But if you want to check it out, it's two dudes
and a nest.
podcast. It's
They're on
awesome.
Facebook and all that
Yeah.
kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
pretty cool. So
Yeah.
I'll check that out. And you can hear our friends at Comic Nerds Unite
And their
do
most
their
recent
crossover one with them.
And speaking of Comic Gears Unite, their most recent episode was with Ryan North, creator of Dinosaur Comics.
And they had quite a revelation for us on that.
Yeah. Well, they told us they didn't talk about it on the
Are we allowed
show.
to say it separately? That wasn't like a secret
know.
thing, was it?
No.
All right, we can say it.
Well, Ryan North has the Brax comic on his bedside table, and eventually, at some point, he's hopefully going to read it.
Because they asked, we had given Ryan the book, told him, he was an inspiration for us doing the comic in the first
If
place.
anyone's going to appreciate Brax,
Yeah, it's going to
I
be
feel
him.
like it's going to be him.
Because he, if anyone, will understand the writing versus the art. Like,
Yeah.
it's not. So hopefully.
We'll see.
And so they asked him, and he said that, yeah, he has it on his
Because he
bedside.
said not most stuff
Most
doesn't
stuff
make
doesn't
it.
make it that far, and he'll probably read it.
So
So it's pretty
that's
cool.
exciting.
I'm honored.
And it's a really funny episode.
I think you even thank him in the.
Oh
in the
yeah,
end,
he's
don't
one
you?
of the people that I thank.
Yeah,
Thanked everybody that inspired us. So he was one of those people.
yeah.
But
So, anyway, so check out those guys, Comic Nerds Unite, and
Yeah,
you can hear their latest stuff.
and I
Cool.
think we're gonna. I mean, that's it here.
Yeah, I think that's good.
But make sure you go to BenviewNetwork.com for all the podcasts. We got some new ones. We got Star Wars Fans Unite,
Right.
Tim and his wife, and then one of their friends. And they're talking about it's basically about the new canon.
stuff.
So like Star Wars Rebels and then the new movies and the new comics, because Marvel took back the comics
Right.
because Dark Horse, and so they're going to be doing brand new comics.
It's pretty cool.
So it's all new Star Wars stuff. And then and we also got Benson's Boombox is returned.
Yep.
And they're also doing their Benview on Spielberg podcast. You got Shut Up Leonard, especially since Community's around the corner.
Coming back.
And then there's actually a new picture starts coming at some point.
Really?
He's banked about 5 episodes.
These pictures starting up again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we're actually getting ready to record some new Man Brendo's wrestling show. Actually, Benson just told me we are going to have Welcome to Night Vale's Hal Lublin back on the show for our post Fastlane
Nice.
episode, which is the pay-per-view before WrestleMania. We're basically we're bringing back the show because it's Benson and I's road to WrestleMania.
Yeah, you gotta have it back.
Because we are getting ready. At the end of March, we'll be driving up to the Bay Area. I think we're gonna be able to do. It's just, again, as I talked last time, I think we're gonna be able to tie the 8 shows.
That's cool.
If it were a different venue, maybe next year WrestleMania is gonna be in Arlington, Texas, at the Cowboys, the Dallas Stadium there, that giant stadium.
Maybe that'll be easier to get to more.
I don't know what they're gonna do, but maybe I'll try and I want to do 10 shows.
That would be cool.
I want to do it. So maybe next year we'll see. But I'm excited, and so Man Brendo's Wrestling Show will be returning. We actually set up a time to record. We're gonna be recording a pre-Fastlane episode and then a post-Fastlane episode.
Nice.
Then we'll probably be doing a pre-WrestleMania one, and then we're gonna hopefully
Definitely.
record up there, and we'll see what happens.
Cool.
So, Man Brendo's Wrestling Show coming back, and we've got Popsicles. We just recorded episode 75.
Nice.
This time Benson flipped out on Derek, which is awesome.
All right.
Because
We'll change the
74,
pace.
74 had an epic Brendo meltdown.
Right.
75 has an epic Benson meltdown. Which
What's it about? Like just teaser.
he just finally snapped as far as Derek making fun of him. The last straw.
Finally got to him.
Yeah.
Man.
So so check that out. That's all at benvnetwork.com. We are at BrendoMan on Twitter. If you go to radiobrendo.com, all of our links are there. That's where you can contact us. Facebook, Tumblr, all that stuff. Brax Comics. Where now that Phil's back from vacation, we've got a bunch of strips planned.
I got one that's going to be up for Valentine's Day, a special Valentine's episode.
So that's going. And so that's all again, radiobrendo.com, braxcomics.com, popvoxmusic.com. I actually started posting at WTF of the day.
Oh, nice.
.com again, just because
you
why
have
not? And webcomicsadvocates.com.
That's our podcast. I mean, our panel at the show.
So we're going to be doing, and that's going to be at WonderCon. And again, if you're going to be at WonderCon,
come check it out.
Come check it out. Come say hey. And it's exciting. And we'll also be doing our big Benview Megacast. And we're gearing up for Comic-Con.
Yep. It's only February, but already.
Well, we've already like, this is the thing. Like, as we mentioned, the general registration is because everybody asks me every year, how do I go to Comic-Con? Well, next Saturday, they're going to be doing open registration. If you don't get, then that's it.
Yeah.
And also, once you do that, then you immediately need to figure out your hotel stuff. Like we got the Benview room, but we got our hotel.
You already have it, yeah.
We're pretty much ready to go because like that's how far ahead you have to plan.
Unless you're Phil, in which case you just kind of fall into something at the last minute. But don't take my
advice. You end up
advice.
staying like pretty far away.
Yeah, if you want a decent place, you should probably plan ahead.
Like now. But because inevitably somebody in June will be like, so can I get tickets to Comic-Con? And I'm always like, what are you, nuts?
Yeah, good luck. Yeah, it doesn't work
unless you know somebody. And even then, good luck.
Yeah. Because a lot of times people don't understand, like, it's kind of a time commitment. You don't just like pop in for a little bit.
Yeah, it's also not just something you can just
not buy anything. And it's quite an ordeal. So plan ahead if you want to go.
So start planning now if you want to go. Should already be planning. But I'm excited. It'll be my 11th Comic-Con in a row. 11th consecutive. Cool. And this will be like the third WonderCon in Anaheim.
This will be like my 7th Comic-Con?
Yeah.
Something like that.
But we're old grizzled veterans now. Back in my day.
Done panels at them.
I know. It's cool. It's exciting.
Yeah. Pretty stoked.
All right.
Cool. I think that's good. What episode is this?
This is episode 70. 71. No, wait.
157.
157.
Yeah.
It's
good.
All right. Anything else?
Thanks for listening. You guys are awesome. And write in and tell us stuff that you think or ideas.
And don't forget, we're still gauging interest on shirts.
Yeah, if you have any, anyone's got some ideas on that.
And I'm probably going to launch the Patreon soon.
That's cool. We'll give you more details on that when that happens, but I think that's a good idea.
Just because if, you want to pay $1 a month.
Yeah.
$2.
You good?
$3. $20. $50.
$1,000.
If you want to just buy Radio BrendoMan.
What's our asking price right now?
I don't know. How much do we sell out for?
I don't know.
I feel like $1 million each.
Yeah, $1 million each, and you can tell us to do whatever you want.
Yeah. Well, you can boss us around.
Yeah, that's cool. Within reason,
Oh, speaking of that, Beyond the Shield podcast.
Oh yeah.
And they just did another new episode.
Nice.
And theadamwells.com.
There you go. That's our obligation.
Speaking of obligations, I almost forgot about
one. We haven't heard from Adam in a while. If you're out there, Adam.
Oh, he's out there.
Say hey.
He's out there keeping it real.
Keeping it real. Taking it easy for all us sinners.
That's me.
Oh, yeah.
I'm the dude, man. So that's what you call me. It's funny, we were talking about like the Lebowski equivalents and like how it's pretty clear that I'm like the Walter
Yeah.
with popsicles.
Over the line.
And just like, and I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure pretty much both Benson, Derek, and Phil they've all had that. Will you just take it easy,
Yeah.
man? You just take it easy, man.
But you've also had you're being very undue.
Like just calmer than you, and I've calmer than you are. Like I'm like that has happened with pretty much anybody.
Yep.
Just take it easy, man. And then like, what does this have to do with Vietnam? And I'm always, yeah. I'm a passionate person.
He's a pacifist.
I did not know that. I myself dabbled with pacifism once. Not during Nam, of course.
No. Say what you will about Soviet socialism. At least it's an ethos, dude.
All right, now we're just quoting Lebowski. So, all right, everybody. We hope you enjoyed this episode, and stay tuned. Now, next time, hit us up.
Let us know.
Let us know just what's going
Anything.
on.
Just let us know.
Be like, hey,
how's it going? Tell us what you had for breakfast. If you
don't
want to.
do that.
I mean, if they want to, they can.
I don't care.
What if it's a really interesting breakfast item?
It better be good.
If you have a really interesting breakfast, let us know. If it's just waffles, maybe keep that to yourself. I don't know.
All right. Well, for Radio BrendoMan, I'm Brendan Creasy.
And I'm Phil Vecchio.
Have a good one, everybody. Send in your breakfast.
What if someone wants to? We'll take anything.
I won't.
Oh, I'm gonna go home and pump myself full of like decongestants.
Are you getting sick?
I don't know. I hope not, but maybe. I feel like I might be. Good thing is, if I do, I have all that medication that we got beforehand, just in case. I got like the nasal spray and the decongestants and the antihistamines and all that stuff. So I already have it ready to go.
All right. Well, I'm going to stop the YouTube.
Oh yeah, good. Everyone can hear that. It's good.
Feels all congested.
So the YouTube people saw me like run off to go blow my nose like 3 times throughout the show. Sorry, everyone.
I think they're okay.
Yeah, you guys are gonna be all right. It's better than having to like drip out of my face during the show, right?
That's gross.
Yeah.
Or like Audrey just explode.
Oh gosh, she hasn't done in the last couple days, but she'll do those like, achoo,
And then
oh god,
Janelle like freaked out.
oh, it's not everywhere.
There are no tissues.
And then I caught her on video like at the restaurant, and she does this. And she's perfected like the double nose pick because she thinks she's like sneaky, so she'll go like this so no one can see. But I was like on the other side of her hand, and she's like, anyway, kids are gross. I helped out in the classroom today, and they were making food, and I would not eat the food that those kids had to do with for like any money. Because if you look around the room at any given time, at least 3 kids are picking their nose and eating it, like at any given time. And then they're decorating cookies, and they're like, "Here, do you want?" I'm like, "No, I'm good. I'm okay. I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure there's boogers in there.
Pretty sure there's boogers in there."
And then like the game I did, I was like doing a game at one table. And it was with the conversation hearts, but they had to use a straw and like suck onto it and transfer it from plate to plate. And by the end of the day, those things are just sticky and wet. And the kids are like, "Can we eat them?" I'm like, "No, do not eat these. Do not eat them." So anyway, kids are gross. Individually, I can handle them, but like a classroom of 22 kids all snotting all over the place.
That's where I'm like, I don't understand how kindergarten teachers.
No, they're saints. They really are.
Because when they're kindergartners, they're still pretty gross.
Oh, and they pee their pants.
Yeah, they're still peeing.
I bet you any week they probably have 1 or 2 kids pee their pants. They're all picking their nose and
at least once a month. There's probably a pooper.
Yeah, and when they sneeze, like they walk up to them with a big old face of snot and go, "Oh, it's not." Like I mean, they don't know what to do yet. Some of them. So at least Audrey, when she has access to Kleenexes, knows how to go and like do it, but. If she's like just in her car seat, she just sits there and waits for someone to
And then
do
you
it.
Still have like the snot.
Yeah, the snot sucker. That thing is magical.
Ugh.
I was
like held it right in front of my face.
Like, want to see?
Like,
I
this.
think it's
like
rad
this
though.
jar of
It's like, yeah, but the genius part and why those things are so cool is it sucks it into a clear jar so you can see all the snot that's going into it.
Ugh.
So you know it's not just like some scam. As you're doing it, you can see the snot being ripped out of their nose.
That's gross.
It's disgusting.
All right.
With that, thanks for listening on YouTube, everyone.
Yep. See you later.